Tuesday morning, a little chilly out there on the drive-in. Very few people here this morning, as usual. Just 4 of us in this building. But those of you that are out there...
But wait until 10 o'clock. Then there's going to be 6 of us.
I mean, we might get a little out of control in this building. We'll be wilding up in here. Jason Ross, Christopher Laud, Carmichael Dave is off until next week. We're all off tomorrow as far as the show, and then we're back Thursday and Friday. And we do wish everybody a happy new year. I don't know if you're ringing in the new year at 9 or at midnight tonight. I'll be at midnight. I'll make it. I usually do.
Probably be woken up at midnight.
So you'll sleep before. I mean, I think today, I was up pretty late last night. It was at the game. It was a longer game. Stayed after for a little bit, talked to a few people. Was really looking actually to get to Doug. Didn't see him afterwards. That's okay. Very happy for him in his first win. And then, stayed up, did some show stuff, set up the rewind. And
because unfortunately you had it all prepared for a Kings loss.
Oh yeah, I'd already written, like writers that cover the game. I had it all written out. It was like, okay, man, how do you lose to this team with these guys out? I don't know what clips Chris is going to use, but here we go. Rewind, lost number 7 in a row. So I had to change the script. Thanks, Kings. No, so it was up later, and then I don't know, I was just kind of antsy last night. Maybe it was a little extra charge from seeing the beam for the first time in a while.
That was good to see last night.
It was, and normally, I will say this, normally I leave out, and where I drive and go home, sometimes I just shoot right up J Street, and I just don't see the beam. But I took the wide route, went kind of around, and there's multiple ways to get home for me, and got on the freeway, and so then I got back on the freeway, was on 50, and just looking to my left, and he, I don't know, they, them, whatever, the beam was up. Saw it.
The beam is an entity.
The beam is its own thing. It's everything. It's everything you want it to be and anything you want it to be. Look great.
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
So that means you're
Stranger Things?
Part of it.
Okay, I should have got that. So, yeah, I took a different route home to see that. That was fun. Enjoyed the win. A win is a win. Certainly could be better. But there were moments, I mean, I don't want to get lost in a little bit of the sluggishness of it. There were some good moments, too, of the game, which we will discuss today. But that's what was needed, obviously. So we will get into that today. But it is the final day of the year. I know it's some time for reflection. We'll do some of that today, maybe for you and for those of you looking for a new and improved and bigger and better 2025. I wish nothing but the best for all of you in the year ahead.
Yesterday was the absolute perfect sports day for me.
Okay, I need an explanation as to why.
Well, Manchester City won the other day, Sunday.
But you're looping that into yesterday?
That was a first
for
a while. Then yesterday, Manchester United lost badly, and it was so funny.
Were they not supposed to?
Huh? They've just been terrible all year.
But you enjoyed that as much as your
And then the Kings won.
Yeah. Just chef's kiss right there. Just a perfect capper.
I was definitely just letting it all sink in yesterday.
Yeah. So we'll kind of talk about some of the best and worst of 2024 today, as well as a ton of Kings coverage, more on the win and more on kind of the situation this team is in right now. Certainly, we will welcome you on our YouTube chat, those of you on our text line at 916-339-1140. We will later in the show have an opportunity to identify our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. We'll have post-game reaction from the game, my own reaction to it as well. We do have guests joining us today, multiple guests. The 49ers played their second to last game of the year. Actually, not a bad performance by the 49ers, but it's a loss. They lose to Detroit. Brock Purdy got hurt at the end of the game. Jake Moody's struggles continue. We will talk with Matt Barrows at 9 o'clock for Niners at 9 today. Our guest from The Athletic. Also, since it's Tuesday, around 8:15 or so, we'll check in with Sean Salisbury, our resident QB, on the show. And before that, we're going to kick it with Sean. Maybe see if he's got any New Year's Eve recipes, how he'll spend his New Year's Eve, because he gave us that jalapeno cream corn that Chris made and crushed at Thanksgiving. Gosh, can you believe that? That's already a month ago?
Unbelievable.
Where's the time go? And then we will also visit with Bruce Feldman, also from The Athletic, college football writer, wrote a great piece on Cameron Scattaboo as the bowl season is well underway. But tonight we begin game one of the quarterfinals. There'll be 3 bowl games tomorrow in the quarterfinals, but we've got Boise State and Penn State. And then tomorrow, the other 3 is the final 8 are left in college football playoffs. So we will visit with Bruce Feldman today and a ton of Kings conversation, like I said, throughout the show up until 10. We'll wrap it up with celebrity birthdays and send it off, I believe, to Brendan Nunez today, Chris. Is that right? Is Brendan in for Alan?
You are correct, sir.
Hey-o! So that's what we will do today between now and 10
I feel bad
o'clock.
for Alan. He doesn't even do a show after a Kings win.
I know.
He missed the Mike
firing.
Brown firing,
Yeah.
and he missed a game after a Kings win.
I know. He was at the game last night, talked to him, saw a lot of the, saw Brendan, saw Frankie, Chris Watkins, Sam Amick, Matt George, Sean, everybody was out. Everybody was out and about, curious about the Kings last night. And it was a bit of a strange journey to get there. It ends up being the largest come from behind win of the season. That's a good note. But the fact that they had to get down 18 to a depleted, I mean, that Mavs team was depleted. Doesn't mean, and you've all done this long enough. I saw plenty of people, if the Kings can't win this game, I'm telling you, everybody in this league is a professional. I thought the Kings took them seriously enough, but Dallas early on, PJ Washington looked like the best player in the league. And then by the end of the game, he returned to being kind of PJ Washington without his best players around him. He had a rough finish to that game after an incredible start. But the Kings needed it. They were desperate. They played like it. They played agitated. They played angry. They played confused. It was an emotional game. And maybe that's in the end what they needed, but they saw the win. That was very, very important for them. So we'll get into that today. But like I said, today is the final day of 2024. It is amazing. I mean, I know I'm not the only person to say this. It is so crazy how fast time flies now. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. Chris, can you remember the earliest New Year you brought in?
What?
Like, how young were you? Like when you really remember, like, I was this year's old when I remember it being New Year's Eve.
I don't remember the year, but I remember my cousins and I would all be at my grandparents' house. And
so less than 10, probably?
I'm probably like 6 or 7.
Okay, so you remember.
Because I was the youngest one.
And did you make it to midnight?
We did, and we all had that's when our grandma would give us the pots and pans.
When did that start? Because I remember that. I remember
Was
being
it like
a kid.
these thoughts. I don't like remember like them happening. It's just like something that's always happened. So I don't even remember like the first time. It's just something that we always did.
No, but I just remember like who did that first? Someone obviously, because you had pots and pans. I remember being a kid. Like my parents or my dad was like, it's the New Year. Get a spoon, we had a metal spoon or a wood spoon and pans, or
we get to just make noise. You always yell at us for making noise.
I know, now we're outside. It's midnight. It's dark, and we get to make all this noise and scream, and it was so exciting. But who came up with pots and pans? I don't know do people still do that?
I don't know.
I mean, we used to literally go outside and yell and be like, "Happy New Year!" Now it's like, okay, I'll make it to midnight, but it's just like maybe
So you guys don't believe me, but I am the quietest one of the family, and
I kind of don't believe you.
My cousin, who's the loudest of the family, would just go out, just go, ah!
Just a random scream, like someone's
like she was able to just get it all out on New Year's.
I'd been holding this in for 365 days, and now you're going to hear it all of Sacramento. Yeah, now for me, and I think, I'm sure people will set off fireworks. I know they will in our area. But yeah, I'll make certainly 9 o'clock. I don't even know that we have ever done New York midnight, the 9 o'clock. Because usually we're like, maybe think about it. And then like before you know it, it's like 10, 15.
I remember in high school for a couple of years, we went to Disneyland for New Year's.
Oh, that might be fun.
And they had like,
do they stay open till midnight then, right?
Yeah. So they would have past midnight. So they would have the 9 p.m. New Year's
celebration.
And then they would have the 12 o'clock
Okay, I wondered if they did they do 10, 11, and 12. So
It was 9 and 12.
What's so funny is here people talk about, I'm going to do New York midnight, but there is Chicago, there's Denver.
I don't know if they still do it, but there's a couple of English pubs that would do 4 p.m. New Year's.
Really?
Because it was midnight in England.
Well, any reason to celebrate or to put one back, I'm sure, for some people, especially if you're at a bar today. We do encourage people to have some fun, be with your loved ones, be with your family, be with your friends. Be safe tonight. Have your fun. Welcome in the new year. And
they're expensive. Get an Uber. It's just easier.
And we are well past the time. Call a friend, get an Uber, Lyft, cab, be on foot, something. Just don't get behind the wheel, right? I mean, again, be smart, be safe, have some fun. And Happy New Year to everyone. All right, when we come back, we will look back on leading off some of the top stories for today's show, stuff we will cover throughout today. We will do that next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win.
He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
There's a reason why more and more people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
All right, before we get to cut number 1, I like this from our YouTube chat. My street turns into a Mike Bay film on New Year's Eve and 4th of July. Not Michael Bay, but Mike Bay. They're close.
Mike Bay.
But I get the point.
Do we live on the same street?
I think you might want to check in with that YouTube chatter. We appreciate that. All right, let's get to cut number 1.
As the final 7 seconds tick away, the Kings are going to be able to light the beam. The last home win was against the Utah Jazz. It was back on December 8th. This is the 30th of December. That was 3 weeks and a day ago. But the Kings will gladly take a 110-100 triumph, the first win of Doug Christie's coaching career. The largest come-from-behind win of the season for the Kings as they were down 18 in the first half of this one. 110-100 is the final, and everybody can take a collective sigh of relief.
Yeah, at the end, when they add them all up, this is going to count as a W. They've played better. They've played prettier. They've been giving us more confidence in what kind of team they could be than what they did last night. But really, last night kind of didn't matter how they did it. And for those of you that it didn't impress, that's okay. That's okay. They found a way. They needed to find a way. This team has been in a funk. It doesn't mean they're out of it with this win. But you could just tell the sense of relief by the players, by the coaching staff, certainly by the fans. You guys out there probably too. I mean, look, none of this is enjoyable to watch this organization that had reasonable expectations go through this. I think that to me has been one of the most disappointing parts about this is, for the better part of the last, I don't know, 15 years, the Kings have stepped in it in so many different ways at different times. And kind of a lot of this pain and struggle and heartache and misfortune has been self-induced. And, they finally had more of a good thing going than they've had, right? I think that's an obvious statement for this organization over the last couple of years. And they made a move that kind of brought you back to some of the past wounds. And then yesterday, to have so many advantages going into the game, the amount of high-level personnel that was out for Dallas, I honestly didn't feel like the Kings took that for granted. I just think they're still playing poorly and still troubled, bothered, struggling, maybe a little bad luck. It's like everything, like a lot of it's all happening to them. Again, self-induced. I'm not saying woe is me and feel badly for the Kings. They had to figure a way out of it. And even if it was just for a night, they did. And I think they were fortunate that they played a depleted team. But it was going to take extra effort. It was going to take kind of a knockout, drag out, claw, and grind your way to a victory game. And that's what it did take. I mean, it wasn't one of those where they just smoked a depleted Dallas team and, where they were all clicking. No, they're going to have to play like that coming up, though, with Philly and Memphis and, really good teams. Not that Dallas is a good team when they're right. I mean, they weren't right yesterday and still showed that, they've been a winner. They know how to win, and young players and different players with an opportunity to be kind of the featured player can show you that they can go off. These are all talented NBA players. And so in the end, honestly, and I say this phrase every once in a while, like, it doesn't even matter if they kicked in the game-winning basket, threw it behind their head from three-quarters court, got the biggest break ever. It really, at this point, when you've lost 6 in a row, when you've made a controversial coaching firing, when you're really in a bad way and your spirits are down, it just needed to end with a victory. And it did. And now is when you try to go forward from here. And even if you don't beat Philly, can you beat Memphis? Can you find a way to beat the Warriors? Can you find a way to beat Miami? You start to string something together where over a 5 to 10 game stretch, you go, okay, it's better than it's been. Right now, it's a pause. It's a stop. It's a 1-game victory to stop this bleeding of 6 consecutive losses. And again, we'll hear some post-game reaction of just the sense of joy that has been missing, relief, and people not talking about the Kings in a negative way for a day. And even if there's some negative nature and remnant still around, I get it. That's fine. But the group, the collective, needed the victory, and they got it. So good for the Kings on that. We've got more on that coming up, but let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Takes the snap, takes a knee, that's it. 2 teams will meet out in the middle of the field to say job well done, job better done on your NFC North leading Detroit Lions as they win this one by a score of 40-34 over San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco underdogs in this one. Expected them to lose. They did their part, though, to battle in this game. A couple of turnovers by Brock Purdy in the second half after throwing for a ton of yards and playing emotionally. I thought playing pretty well. Detroit just never backed off, kept scoring. The Niners were hanging with them, but ultimately lose this one. Purdy got hurt at the end. We'll talk more about that with Matt Barrows later in the show at 9. The disappointing season continues. A season of expectations that were more than fair for the 49ers, but a season of injuries and, holdouts early, just being a little bit off their game from the get-go. And the NFL is a cruel business too, much like the NBA. The league doesn't wait for you. Everybody else is trying to win. It is tough to win in this league. And the 49ers, it would have been a nice win. They were already long been eliminated from the postseason. It honestly wouldn't have done a ton of damage to Detroit. We talked about it a little bit in yesterday's show. How would Dan Campbell approach the game? Because Detroit's going to have to win in week 18. Yesterday was almost irrelevant for them, but they didn't approach it that way. He played his starters, played his guys, attacked the game, wanted the win, went for 4th downs, played, coached it like a Dan Campbell regular game. And so the Niners got to go through that experience. did some good things in the game. Really didn't get the run game going, but the passing game was good and had their opportunities. More struggles for Moody. We'll talk about that today. I thought the onside kick was hideous at the end of the game. But we'll get into that in a little more detail as the show rolls along. But the 49ers lose to Detroit to wrap up Week 17. One more week of regular season action in the NFL. All right, let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
That should do it in the arms of Ashton Genty. Let him eat, and they did.
They wanted so badly, Jason, for so many years to have their chance to sit at the big boy table. The BCS, only 2 teams. The 14 playoff, really hard for group of 5. 12 team, they get a seat at the table.
And look out.
Yeah, Boise State not only got a seat at the table, they got a bye. And now here we are, the way the college football committee, the playoff committee, seeded the teams, top 12. The top 8 are left. The top 4 got a bye. That's a little bit controversial. We'll talk about some of that with Bruce Feldman later at 8 o'clock when he joins us. That, there's kind of not unwritten. They have it set up that, the power conferences get an automatic top 4 seed. And, depending on ranking, and there's some little nuance in there. But that's something I think that will get revisited. But still, you've got the top 8 left. And tonight, the first of the quarterfinal bowl games has Penn State taking on Boise State. I think part of the charm of the college football playoff is just this. Penn State didn't win the Big Ten, but they're from a big conference that had a good year. They deserve to be here. Boise State from a smaller conference. They had a great year. I feel like they should be in this college football playoff. Here they are. They're the 3 seed. Maybe they're overseeded. Maybe not. They'll get a chance to prove it. And what's great about this is we get to now watch the next level of this. And we got some good games. 3 more tomorrow, and then it's whittled down to the semifinals, and then ultimately the finals in a couple of weeks. So I think college football with, Texas and Arizona State, the 5-4 matchup a little bit later, it's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be on the January 1st games. And then, just even everything else they've got, Oregon and Ohio State, that rematch, I think that one will prove to be probably as compelling as the first time as it's played. And then Georgia as the 2 seed versus number 7, Notre Dame. Those are the top 8. Those are the last 8. And this is very akin to March Madness. First time we've had it. First year of it. There'll be some tweaks as it goes along. But I think this is good for college football. And it's healthy. College football is ever changing. I think we're beyond the point where we go, well, it's college athletes, it's student athletes. No, you can't play both. They are student athletes, but this is full-blown business. I mean, look, between the portal, between NIL, between the amount of money that's being made in these television deals that the universities are getting and now benefits that some of the players are getting, this is big-time business. And this kind of stuff is going to rival the NFL. It won't do as well, quite as well, but it's going to do very, very well. There's some massive college markets, and college football knows it's a business entity. And I think they've tried to play nice on that, going, oh, the student athletes, they get scholarships. No, this is a booming, lucrative business. All right, so that is tonight. When we come back, though, let's get back into the Kings. Much needed win over the Dallas Mavericks. A little audio recap via the G-Man. We'll look back at the highs and lows of that with the highlights and lowlights from last night's win. We'll do that next.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Paul George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. It's the final day of 2024. Chilly start out there for the morning. Plan to see some areas of patchy frost around the valley, but into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's time to find your dream car at the Roseville Auto Mall. 17 award-winning dealers and the largest selection in Northern California. Now's the perfect time to save big during our end-of-year clearance sale at the Roseville Auto Mall. Driven to be the best.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
California, it's the Ford Year-End Sell-a-thon. 14 days of the biggest savings on an incredible selection. So visit your California Ford dealer now through January 2nd and get great offers across the lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs, like the built Ford Tough F-150 truck, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport, with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And check out the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford Year-End Sell-a-thon, and it's your chance to save. Whether it's gas, hybrid, or all-electric, now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end January 2nd. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Right back here on the show. Happy New Year to everyone on this final day of 2024. Hopefully you have a good time ringing in the new year later today. Kings did a nice job of winning the final game of 2024 to stop the bleeding. And boy, did they absolutely desperately need that victory. We will have that played back a little bit later in Kings Rewind. We're going to have a lot of post-game reaction throughout the show. Some different audio you'll be able to hear from Doug Christie, Domantas Sabonis, and others. DeMar DeRozan, as the Kings, again, like we said, needed this one badly and found a way to get it done. So let's kind of take you back. Little audio recap courtesy of the highlights from the G-Man, Gary Gerald. And like we said, this one just needed to end up as a W, but it certainly didn't start the way the Kings had hoped. We knew that Clay was out. That was kind of a late scratch for Dallas. Kyrie, earlier in the day, we heard he wouldn't play. We knew Luka was out. Najee Marshall was already out. Lively was out. And there was one other, Dante Exum. So 6 players, really 5 core players, though, for Dallas missing in this game. And so opportunities for other players from Dallas, like Dinwiddie and P.J. Washington, to do the heavy lifting. And early on, oh, my goodness, was P.J. Washington lighting up the Kings.
Can they stop Washington? He's straight away 21-footer. Same result. He is just on fire right now. 17-point first quarter for Washington.
Yeah, P.J. Washington lit up the Kings, made his first 4 threes, but it made 7 of 8 in the opening quarter. Now, he finished 8 for 20, so he went 1 for 12 the rest of the game and 0 for 5 from 3, so he really fell off the map completely. Dinwiddie kept going, though, as he had a solid performance. But the Kings really dug themselves a huge hole in the first quarter, and they were just in a malaise. Like nothing was going right. They got a late free throw and just they weren't playing well. But the end of the first, maybe a little glimmer, a little spark, a little joy of hope, a little ray of hope for the Kings with a buzzer beater by Keon Ellis.
Fox to put it in play. Looking midcourt, finds Ellis on the run, drives to the corner, launches to beat the buzzer, score the triple. Well, there's a ray of sunshine for the Kings.
They were down 17 before that. So you're down at home to a depleted Mavs team, and you gave up 37 points. The complaint about the game in LA, a 40-point first quarter, a 42-point second quarter. So some more of the ugly trends were continuing for the Kings. So they're trailing 37-23. Second quarter, though, was better. Defense was better. Offense certainly was better. And they really started to share the ball, move the ball, cut, and go with a few more effort plays like this one.
The Kings head back up the floor. Sabonis, baseline pass, great pass, and a great flush thrown down by Trey Lyles. That was well executed by the Kings. Another little ray of sunshine for Sacramento. That on the quick transition strike, it was a no-look bounce pass from Sabonis. Trey Lyles making the hoop.
All right, so the Kings chipping away now, trying to make a little run at this, trying to close in on Dallas, and more from quarter number 2 and from De'Aaron Fox, who ended up with a pretty big night for the Kings.
Sabonis has the rebound. Ahead to Fox. Euros into the lane. Scores, and he's fouled. Well, back-to-back drives by the Kings paying off. Fox now has 14. He'll get an and one.
All right, so the Kings were close by halftime, so they've done a lot of the breaking down of the deficit as much as 18, pulled within 4 by the break. Third quarter, a little choppy early on, and this is kind of where the game could have swung in a completely different direction. The Kings were getting frustrated. They've just been agitated. We know it. They're on edge, and they should be. It's understandable. And they were getting a little bit feisty as the quarter continued.
4 minutes and 11 seconds into this quarter, and now a technical foul has been called on De'Aaron Fox. Well, that doesn't help.
No, De'Aaron got a tee. Trey Lyles got a tee. To be honest with you, look, I'm for the Kings, want them to win. I think De'Aaron should have been tossed out of the game. He kept going at official James Williams, and there was one time where De'Aaron, adamantly was pointing to one referee. Basically, my interpretation of this was tell that other guy, which was James Williams, he's pointing at Williams, but Williams had his back to him. I honestly thought De'Aaron could have been and maybe should have been ejected. Thankfully, he wasn't. Kings got a break there. He stayed in the game. And I don't know if the technical – De'Aaron was really agitated, and I actually thought that was a good move by Doug Christie to get him out of the game. We all like angry De'Aaron Fox, but he was too angry. He couldn't collect himself, so they had to get him off the floor. And from that point on, whether it was De'Aaron or the rest of the team, it just felt like the extra effort plays started to happen. And even when it wasn't going well, this might be – one of my favorite sequences I've seen in a long, long time, and maybe it's being caught up in the moment. Maybe it's the sense of desperation that this team needed to win. But to me, this sequence right here kind of was a perfect capsule of the entire game, where the Kings are playing hard. There's every opportunity. They're giving every effort, and it takes them time and time and time and time again until they finally get the reward.
Here's a probe and a steal. Keon Ellis again. Races to the front court. Euros to his left. Kicks to the corner. Swing to the trailer. Lyles driving a kick to Fox. Touch pass to Keon for 3. Does not get it. Sabonis, offensive rebound. Out to Herter. He loads. He fires. It's short. Tracked down by Ellis. To Fox for 3. It's off the iron. Sabonis for the rebound. To Herter. Back to Ellis. Fakes the 3. Drives. Reaches with the left hand. Around and out. Tipped in by Sabonis. What an exhausting sequence that was for the Sacramento Kings.
Perfectly described by the G-Man. It was exhausting. The anticipation of every offensive rebound and a 3 and a 3 and a 3, then a layup, and then finally the putback. Well worth it in the end. And just, again, more of the frustration, more of the let's break through. Here was an emotional play, I thought, and a good one from Red Velvet off the bench.
Great defense. Herter knocks it away, saves it from going out of bounds to De'Aaron Fox. Accelerates up the floor, puts on the brakes, hits a trailing Herter. Up fake for three, sidesteps the defender, buries the triple. Look at the emotion from Kevin Herter after he bombed home that triple after he made a terrific defensive play.
Yeah, so the Kings were, that's a play that, the Kings have been making, but they don't finish the highlight. Herter doesn't make the three. Well, this time he did. He was emotional after it. Crowd, again, I try to bring that up. That group was so into the game because they wanted to see a victory, and now the Kings are starting to play better. They went on a serious run, late third into the fourth. Run would continue, and another guy who had a really good game off the bench was this guy, Trey Lyles.
Up fake, stretch, kick to the corner to beat the buzzer for three. Trey Lyles knocks down the triple. 25-3 is the run.
Trey Lyles, 14 points off the bench in 21 minutes. His plus-minus was plus 31 for Trey. Trey was great. He was really great. The fun comments post-game that we'll play a little bit later, too, from Malik about Trey Lyles. And then you kind of need maybe the capper, the one where it's going to be a victory. It felt like it near the end. But let's get one highlight from the Kentucky duo.
Here comes Monk to set up the alley-oop. Flying to the rim and pulling it down is De'Aaron Fox, the former Kentucky Wildcats. We've seen that combination multiple times the last 2.5 years come up with plays just like that.
Yeah, timeout by Kidd and the Mavs, and it was a wrap from that point on.
As the final 7 seconds tick away, the Kings are going to be able to light the beam. The last home win was against the Utah Jazz. It was back on December 8th. This is the 30th of December. That was 3 weeks and a day ago. But the Kings will gladly take a 110-100 triumph, the first win of Doug Christie's coaching career. The largest come-from-behind win of the season for the Kings as they were down 18 in the first half of this one. 110-100 is the final, and everybody can take a collective sigh of relief.
Yep, they needed it, right? Their 14th win of the year, 14-19, still quite a large hole to dig out of. Certainly doesn't solve everything there, but for a day, the rebounding was terrific. The second half defense, look, I said earlier, the 40-point first quarter in LA, the 42-point third quarter in LA, the 37-point first quarter last night. Well, they gave up 40 in the second half. That's winning basketball. That's what you have to do. It's extra effort. It's extra little things. Kings didn't shoot that great. What they did do was win the possession battle. Dallas got 76 shots up. The Kings shot 100 times. It's because the amount of offensive rebounds. They didn't turn the ball over as much as Dallas, so they did turn it over a decent amount. Shared the ball. I thought the pace was pretty good. I like the rotations for the most part. You had some foul trouble. It was an issue with Fox, with DeRozan, Sabonis a little bit to some extent. Still while Keegan wasn't hitting shots and other guys weren't, they didn't light it up from three by any means, but made their free throws, rebounded well, defended in the second half, and look, got a break. Played a team that was depleted, that was looking like was going to embarrass them maybe for a season worst rock bottom moment. Instead, regrouped, found their footing, and got the win they needed. All right, now it's trying to add on. Philly is next. We'll talk about that more when we come back, though. How badly was this needed for the players? We'll get some reaction. We'll hear from DeMar DeRozan, who talked with the G-Man postgame. We'll share more thoughts on the much-needed win by the Kings. That is next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting.
And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's the year-end sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford. Get last chance year-end savings on your favorite new Ford models. Low payments and even 0% financing with approved credit. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
On Sacktown Sports.
I know that the losing has worn on people. I'll speak for myself. It's worn on me. I think back to, being growing up. I've always been a sports fan growing up. I know, like, one of my first loves was, my parents both went to UCLA. My dad and kept his season tickets forever. And one of the things I can remember with him and my brother going to the games, like if they won, we would listen to whatever version of a post, the reaction, people talking about the game afterwards, callers, that kind of stuff. And I would love it. I'd loved it. But I found that, which is an ironic thing because I've been doing the Kings postgame for forever, 20-something years now, 30 years almost, that when UCLA would lose or have bad loss, I think we all kind of thought, I don't want to hear it. I don't like, let's play music. Let's do something else. Like you kind of want to remove yourself from it. So now I think about that. And those of you that come here every day, and I appreciate that. We got a ton of you on our YouTube and our overall listeners the last, even during this holiday time, people's schedules are all different and a lot of texts coming in, chats, all that stuff. Just the dedication to this station, to the show, we truly, truly appreciate, but even to this team. And it's just not fun. Look, it's obvious statement, right? The first year of the Beam team was so much fun. It was new. They were winning. They were getting accolades. They were getting talked about in a positive way. And last year, there was hope and expectations, and injuries and different things derailed it. But even all the way to the end, getting to the play-in and winning the first play-in game, eliminating the Warriors, and, can they maybe just muster up a way to win in New Orleans? And then it ended. And this offseason, I think genuine excitement again of what this team could be. And so far, it's been nowhere near that. And so this losing streak, the way they have played, the way they dismissed Mike Brown, just all this stuff, I think, just put a shadow over this organization, over these players, over this team. And then it just makes you question everything, right? I know I did. Like, are the players good enough? What's the front office doing? What is the top management doing? Why can't this organization be successful? Then you see, instead of all the positive feedback and the Kings being the darlings of the league, you hear more national media, local media too, but a lot of national media piling on, coaches piling on, and I can't even say it was, wasn't justified. The Kings have done this to themselves. And so when you get to this time and you just need to find a way to win, to me, yesterday was that. It was less about the way they played, which was far from perfect. It was less about who Dallas didn't have. It didn't, honestly. I mean, if the Kings won that game by 70 and people like, well, they should have won by 70 because Dallas didn't have anybody, I wouldn't have cared. And if they won by 1 on the craziest, flukiest, best break of all time, it wouldn't matter. They just needed to stop the bleeding. And I think you're going to hear a little bit of this tone in this interview that we're going to play here, but more of it throughout the day when we hear from those that played in the game, just how the joy had been missing. And you can't manufacture it if you're losing. People are down. That's authentic. You can feel that way. You should feel that way. I wouldn't want to see any Kings player going, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. But these guys are all incredibly skilled athletes. And, you want to find the thrill of playing. It seems like these teammates all get together and get along together, get along well together, enjoy playing the game. But it's been a bad time. They haven't enjoyed it. And yesterday, for a brief moment, it was a little bit better. And post-game, here's G-Man with one of the newer Kings, DeMar DeRozan.
I just took a sigh of relief. Did you sneak one in as well?
Yeah, especially the way our luck been going. Just feel good to close this one out and, on to the next one and try to keep it going.
It wasn't the prettiest of wins by any stretch of the imagination tonight, but there was persistent efforts and, certainly a gritty attempt on the part of the shorthanded Mavs to stay in this ball game and control much of it. What in your mind was the key to getting back into the win column?
Just staying solid, being desperate, wanting it, especially coming back home. We got to have the mindset to protect home court. We haven't been good home, and just try to change that narrative around for us at home.
I haven't had the opportunity to check with you and ask, have you ever been confronted with a situation with a coaching change in the season during your career?
16 years, my first time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something new. I'm adjusting with the rest of the guys. We're learning. We try to pull this thing together.
Well, unfortunately, from my standpoint as a 40-year broadcaster with the Kings, Doug Christie's now the 21st head coach for the Kings over that span of time. So we're anxious and happy to see him get a breakthrough win tonight.
Without a doubt.
And I know that, there's really not much time to savor it because you've got more tough competition coming. You got Philly and Memphis, and then you go on the road to Golden State, and then it's Miami, and then it's Boston, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. We got to keep it going.
How is this club adapting in your mind for the last 48 hours?
We're coming along. This will definitely help just to get us confidence, the hope, and the belief, going forward, believing in what Doug and the coaching staff is teaching us and, trying to keep a rhythm and keep it going from here.
Well, let's hope that's the case. Thanks so much for your insight and your time.
Yeah, appreciate you.
All right.
DeMar DeRozan yesterday post-game with G-Man. A couple of the takeaways there. First one that actually when it happened live, I'm sitting right next to G-Man. I went, whoa, I guess I didn't realize that and didn't think that was the case, but DeMar's been in this league so long, I was almost certain he had been through a coaching change in the season, but he never has. So even a veteran like that, this is new, uncharted waters for him. For the Kings, some of the Kings players, it's not new. Fox has done it, Sabonis has done it, a few others have done it. So it can happen at different times in your career. Maybe it never happens in your career, but it is a change. And, there are going to be subtleties as this beginning of the Doug Christie era starts. And I think more and more of those changes can happen as it goes along. And I mean, obviously everyone's hoping for changes for the better, but look, Mike Brown is a successful coach. He's been a good coach, was a good coach here, as we all know, was coach of the year. And him and that entirety of the staff had built a way to play, a system, and they were doing some constant tweaks because they were in this rut. They were in this bad stretch here. And so they were trying to find their way out, and Doug's trying to do the same. The players are trying to do more of the same. And, while the game was far from perfect, as we said earlier, I think the end result was basically the elixir that this team needed in the very short term. I think you could hear it in DeMar. I think, we saw some post-game funny quotes from Malik on Trey Lyles. Sabonis seemed relieved. Just a sense of relief to, that's why you play, you compete, you try to win. And I think to a man, they felt like they were better than this, but you are what your record suggests you are. And at 13-19 before the game, everybody was understandably down. And now at 14-19, still a sense of relief and reprieve. And now as 2025 hits, we're getting closer and closer to a trade deadline. Based on what I said yesterday about being a little surprised that the Kings made the coaching move. But to me, you make that move to try to, in season like this is done to try to salvage this season. And if that's the case, I would anticipate this team within the next, what is the deadline, 6 weeks away or so, to be aggressive and to make a move. Whether that's a big splash or something smaller, I think this team will really continue to evaluate themselves on a daily basis and look to see what area of need is most important. I know a lot of people, we just had a few comments come in about Dallas and the rim protection yesterday. Yeah, they had a season high 13 blocks, most blocks by a Kings opponent in the game this year. That's nice. That's really nice. It helps the team. Is it rim protection? Is it more shooting? Is it defense? Is it depth? Is it a top 7 rotation player? I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go. I think right now all things are on the table. All things should be considered. I don't think anybody should feel safe, and I'm okay with that. This team, I don't know if they were comfortable. Right now they're probably uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable can be okay as long as it doesn't unravel the team. And I don't think it has, though. They're dangerously close, but winning tightens things up a little bit, and more winning will help that. So we'll get into more of that in the next hour. We will have a first for a long time, a Kings Rewind after a victory. We'll see if that lands a little bit differently for you. We got 3 for Madison the next hour. Kings finally getting that first win for Doug Christie, and our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. So much to get to in our next hour. That's all straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. A CGM can immediately reduce pain. It's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
Paid for by U.S. Medical Supply.
Call 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638. Again, 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. It's the final day of 2024. Chilly start out there for the morning. Plan to see some areas of patchy frost around the valley, but into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's time to find your dream car at the Roseville Auto Mall. 17 award-winning dealers and the largest selection in Northern California. Now's the perfect time to save big during our end-of-year clearance sale at the Roseville Auto Mall. Driven to be the best.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Welcome back to another exciting game day. Grab your rally towels, throw on your jerseys, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, sports fans win big on home game days. Score instant savings of 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. And that's a victory for you and your tailgate team. Download the app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and game on. Restrictions apply. Limited time. At participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblit of Hoblit Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the wrap up the year sales events?
We're giving you a head start on next year with up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s, starting as low as $36,325.
Wow, you guys are always looking forward.
Not only do we have great deals on new Ram trucks, the Hoblit family dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblit Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 220 vehicles available and over 45 under $20,000.
Now more than ever, Hoblit needs to be your first stop when you need a new or used car. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HoblitDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblit, period.
$16,000 total net savings on select new Ram 1500 models after $10,500 factory rebates and $5,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $1,500 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler Capital qualify. $500 business upfit, business ownership, and $500 upfit required. And $2,000 Ford Conquest cash. Must own or lease a Ford. No trade-in required. 10th is net savings. 36,325 sample VIN 544-890. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
And once again, wishing everybody a happy new year heading into 2025. Text line earlier today at 916-339-1140. I don't know. Did you see anything like this, Chris, last night? Someone from the 209 was asking, where was the water bottle bath for Doug Christie last night? Did they douse him with his first win? I didn't see any locker room stuff post game or anything social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's still such a sensitive time right now. And, it's also a little bit of a weird time. Look, I mean, it's still pretty fresh of Mike Brown's departing. Mike Brown was liked. I mean, it wasn't like, I'm sure there's some player. I mean, not every coach and not every player is going to love every coach, but I think the success that Mike had, was very noticed, obviously, and Doug comes in, and I would hope they'd get some love for his first win, and maybe they did something, but just never saw that. So good question from the text line. Another from our YouTube, from Zeebs, a regular. I think I found the holy grail for sleeping: a grounding sheet, weighted blanket, and down pillows. I haven't slept 7 hours since 1998. Do you have a sleeping ritual at all?
No.
I just go to bed. I can pretty much sleep anywhere, anytime. I think it's one of my gifts. I have it. I'm thankful for it. I don't know that my wife is always thankful for it. She may be talking to me, and I'm like, what? No, I was listening. I was awake. What? No, I can, like that. Honestly, I can just go. And I'm thrilled for that. There's not a lot of times where it's like, I used to always hear people say that, well, I went to bed at 11, but I fell asleep at 2. What?
Do you know how many great Twitter videos are out there? Of course I'm going to stay in bed and watch those.
Well, if you're scrolling on your phone, I understand that. But, I mean, if your devices are down and your TV or radio, whatever you have if it's off, I mean, more times than not, I can have the TV on and I'm out. But, yeah, I don't need a lot of help. But good for you, Zeebs. I'm glad you got a good night's sleep. And maybe people slept a little bit better based on the Kings getting a win. So for those of you that enjoy Rewind, I hope it lands a little bit better after a win. We shall see, but it is time for Kings Rewind. Turmoil has followed the Kings here lately as they were going through their longest losing streak in 3 seasons. Don't know where that's from. I just don't know. They made a controversial coaching move and had to hear about it from everyone over the last couple of days.
Shut your mouth.
I'm sorry? What did
You're
you
just
say?
coming off stupid.
The only thing that could help would be to be back on the floor and end with a win.
Good one.
That appeared to be a bit easier when word got out that Dallas would be without Luka, without Kyrie, without Clay, without Exum, without Marshall, and without Lively.
Hello.
But Dallas, still a prideful organization, and they did make the NBA Finals last year and knew that the Kings were wounded.
Not in the face, okay? Give me that. Huh?
You give me that, huh? The game began with a quick surge by Spencer Dinwiddie.
Try to say surge. It's not so difficult. Surge sounds like a detergent.
His start paired with an incredible opening quarter by P.J. Washington, and it was starting to feel like an avalanche had fallen on the Kings.
What just happened?
The crowd didn't even react. In fact, they all appeared to be in shock as the Kings were down by 18 points.
Here we go again.
Dallas was crazy hot, the Kings were ice cold, and things were awfully bleak at G1C.
What's cooler than being cool?
In the second quarter, the slow climb started to happen for the Kings.
Thank you, Little Roots. Please stay strong.
Sacramento chipped away with effort plays, but it certainly wasn't pretty.
And so pretty that I hardly can believe I'm real. La 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 la.
Burn in hell!
By halftime, the Kings were down just 4 and were just waiting for their big breakthrough.
Oh, come on!
Foul trouble and frustrations were mounting for the Kings as both Fox and Lyles picked up 2 second-half technicals.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to keep our composure.
And after trailing 75-66 past the midpoint of the third quarter, the Kings finally hit the turbo button.
I feel 10 feet tall right now and strong as an ox.
Who the f*** is this guy?
Hey, who's...
I don't know what that one is. The Kings went on a major run to catch the Mavs and blow right past them thanks to a 25-3 push.
Go home, smell you later.
Inside the run, the Kings had a 5-attempt possession when they got rebound after rebound and finally produced a bucket.
So that's what that feels like.
The Kings continued to dominate the glass all night and crush the Mavs in the rebounding department.
I love this game.
In the end, the effort was exactly what they needed. The result is what they needed, and most is what they needed most. And for the first time in weeks, the Beam made an appearance. The losing streak is over.
Oh, yes, we won. We won. We won. Unfortunately, since I bet on the other team, we won't be going for pizza.
It's the first win in the Doug Christie era.
Okay. Are you guys okay? I don't know.
You know what, by the way, I'll tell you in a minute. I'll wait. Well, let's finish. And for a night, the Kings found the joy of playing basketball.
Oh, there you are, Peter.
They close out 2024 with a win and hope to ring in 2025 with another on Wednesday when they host Philadelphia.
I hope so.
There you go. If you missed the game, that's all you needed to know. Kings Rewind. That's how it played out. I'm going to read that third to last one again. In the first win in the Doug Christie era.
Okay. Are you guys okay? I don't know.
Last night, Chris, I will say this at the group of guys from the station, Chris Watkins and Alan and Frankie and Brendan. There's a couple of the guys at their table, so I was kind of like at the kids' table. It was me and G-Man over at a separate table from them. Usually we're all kind of sitting together. But Chris Watkins made a funny line. He said, "Hey, at least we know one thing." I'm like, "What's that?" And he goes, "We know that the head coach of the Kings hates Chris Verlaud."
That's not true.
In his way. You know what? He said he hates you on air live before.
Yeah, but I will say that this is the first Kings coach that has said, "I hate Chris Verlaud."
See?
Yes.
But you don't believe him?
He doesn't hate me.
You think he's lying? Are you calling the head coach of the Sacramento Kings a liar?
No.
Oh, okay. But he has. I've heard him say that
at those moments. Yes, I do believe that he hates me
because you know how to push his buttons and everybody's buttons, and that actually is that's like your victory when you hear, Chris, I hate you. You're like, I've won. We've bonded. We've made it.
I can't remember. So I remember it was Frankie said something. Oh, it was this.
We bring the boom. That's what we do.
When Frankie said he hated that, and I said, "Oh, I wish you didn't tell me that."
I know, because it's the worst thing you could do for Chris. What was that clip from? Where I'm like, "You guys okay?" I don't know. Was that the back and forth?
It was poor Zingas, more like rich Zingas.
He kind of sat that one out.
You could hear him get annoyed during that. Would you like to hear that whole thing?
We might have to. Is that very much akin to you and I kind of vamping with Damien about Face Off?
It is very, very similar to Face Off.
Yeah, I think that one was better. Face Off riff was better because I don't know. I just picked up on what you were doing. We just went and we could tell it was agitating Damien. Whereas I think Doug was semi-amused.
No.
No? Do I need to hear it again?
Yes, you do. He is not amused.
All right. This is our current head coach of the Sacramento Kings, Doug Christie, listening to Chris and I
being stupid.
Being stupid.
Don't know why that's... Oh, hold on 1 second. Ow. You had such
And then the room was empty.
That's not it.
That is not it. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Take two.
So 3 years at,
Yeah, it's what I say. Not almost. It's one. Well, if you do all the math there, it's 100
and more,
and a little change.
More like Rich Zingas instead of poor Zingas.
Oh, I see what you did there, Chris.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Because he's not poor, he's rich, but his last name is Poor. So I said change it from poor to rich instead of poor.
Chris, he really got it, but he was saying he didn't get it. You didn't.
Because he's not poor Zingas anymore. He's rich Zingas.
So that means because he has money now?
Yeah, that makes him rich Zingas and no longer poor Zingas.
I think I'm getting it. Got it?
No.
See, it's rich because he's making a bunch of money, so it's rich Zingas instead of poor Zingas when he's making no money.
But since he's making money, he's what?
Rich Zingas.
That got you.
Okay.
Are you guys okay?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should go to pregame press conference
and ask some questions.
And ask a question.
Yeah.
Like what was his reaction?
He'd be like, "What are you doing? Who let you in?" I think is what you would get.
Yeah, now we've got to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Congrats to DC. So happy for him. Like I said, totally 100% rooting for him. I know how much this means to him. I know how badly he wants this. And really everybody wants to see this team win.
You know what I've really noticed?
What's that?
With Doug Christie as coach, the team's triple threat positioning has been flawless.
Because you think they may shoot? Nope. They may pass? Nope. They may dribble. You just don't know. The attention to detail will be there for him. Will the results? Well, so far, 1 loss, 1 win, 1-1 in the Doug Christie era. All right, break time for us. Hopefully you enjoyed Kings Rewind. Still more show to get to, including later this hour at 7:45. Make sure you're ready for our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. If you heard it yesterday, you'll get a chance to win a $100 gift card. That's coming up in about 30 minutes. When we come back, 3 for Madness, 3 questions, 3 answers, including what would be your New Year's wish for the Sacramento Kings? We'll have that question and answer next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest replacement or biggest return, on investment homeowners can get on home improvements? Let me tell you about Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. They're family owned and operated for over 70 years. 3rd-generation owners that have been serving Sacramento in 9 counties around Sacramento for years and years and years with a great success rate. Really just a terrific business, great people that you want to work with. And with new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, not only will you get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with, like I said, that well-respected and proven company. They do commercial, they do residential, brand new garage doors or repairs to existing doors. Overhead does it all, and take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors or check out their showroom, and you don't even need an appointment. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports, and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, question 1 of 3 for Madness coming your way in just a moment. Appreciate more and more texts coming in at 916-339-1140. I've not heard this before. Wait, Chris, maybe you can help me from a text. Chris's laugh sounds a little like the laugh from that Gorillaz song. I don't know.
Which Gorilla song?
All right, 530, let us know what that could be. Also, Dwayne, yay, they won. Fact remains that they have won. They have 2 of the most clutch scorers in the league and can't win clutch games. That's been one of the biggest issues, honestly, of the team. Not those 2 players specifically, but that they keep losing close games. 3-11. I mean, that's the swing in the standings if you're 7-7, 8-6 in those close games. But you're not, and they need to figure out why. And then Dwayne would add, Vivek and Monty are not off the hook. They still have a lot to prove about what kind of organization the Kings are. Right now, they are a joke to the rest of the NBA, and they are until they get out of that, right? Winning will help. Not one win. One win will help here, like internally, locally, what they kind of need for this team. But yeah, as you spread out, yeah, they're not getting noticed yet until they really, really turn it around if they could do that. All right, let's do 3 for Madness time. 3 questions, 3 answers, Chris. Question number 1.
What would your New Year's wish be for the Sacramento Kings?
Well, I mean, this is something that's probably been an ongoing one that I would have said I didn't think I would have to worry about. And I guess the first thing, the obvious one would be wins, harmony, all that kind of stuff. But I would go back to something that I still think this team, I guess, needs to prove that they need, and that's stability. And stability kind of comes from the top. So, they've made coaching changes. And I think when you've made one after you've done this so many times over a 40-year stretch, and really under Vivek, they've had a lot of coaching changes. So that hasn't allowed for stability. And I think early on, there were just mistakes made where coaches were hired ahead of GMs. That's just a bad practice, a bad way to do it. Quick rush to judgments maybe happened a little bit early on. And stability a lot of times comes with winning, but winning, you need stability to get there too. So continuity is important in organizations. They still have a lot of the same pieces. So removing Mike Brown doesn't entirely change that, but it's the look. It's kind of where they've been. It's their past that's still following them. So if I had a wish, and I'd love to get your guys' wish. We can go down to the players. I'd love for Keegan to find his jump shot. I'd love for the team to find their jump shots collectively to start hitting more threes. They don't need to take more. I know the team and Doug and Mike Brown, they all wanted them to shoot more. I'd like them to make more on the percentage, on the attempts that they're making now. And, maybe another wish would be, besides the continuity, make some shots. And maybe the next move that they make via trade, I'm assuming, would be one that has an impact. That maybe at the end of it, you go, the Kings won that trade. Whatever the size of the trade may be. They need to be in more of these winning sides of things. On the moves they make, you need more of them. You need to go, that was the right move. That trade was the right move. That free agent pickup was the right move. That coaching call, that, draft pick, all of that stuff. I wish for that, and certainly for health for all these guys. Injuries can derail all that. That would be one of my New Year's wishes for the Sacramento Kings. All right, question number 2.
What is your New Year's wish for the San Francisco 49ers?
So if I'm looking ahead to 2025 for the 49ers, obviously health, that's what derailed them this year. But they do have a big decision that seemed to be clearer and easier to make a few months ago in Brock Purdy. And, I think finding Brock Purdy where they did, developing him, and doing a lot of winning under Brock Purdy allowed them to stack the roster in other positions, allowed them to trade for Christian McCaffrey, to, a year ago to add to the defensive line, to, extend Bosa and Ayuk and, all their high-level talented players. And now they're going to be at a point where they have to decide to pay Brock Purdy. And I think they're going to do it. I just hope they can. My New Year's wish for them would be, one, again, health for them for sure, but that they land in a sweet spot where it makes sense the amount of money they're going to pay Brock Purdy. I keep saying pay Brock Purdy. I think he should be the quarterback of the future, but there's a little bit of a voice, a tiny bit of reservation on that. And I don't want them to be in a spot where, because of the quarterback market, because of what he has done, I believe obviously should get a significant raise, but I don't want it to be in a spot where it compromises some of their other things that they're trying to do. I still think there's a Super Bowl window, though it's shrinking. Obviously, it's not this year, but it can be as soon as next year if the offseason is done right, the health is right, and they regain form. I mean, teams can do it. They can do it. They've got enough talent on the field to do it. But I just hope they find that sweet spot of rewarding Brock the right amount, not an overpay, and it still allows them to do some of the things that they need to do to address some of the team's needs. That would be my wish, and I don't know what that sweet spot is. There's people smarter than me that can figure that out, but I think they need to figure that out instead of they mortgage everything and say, Brock's our guy, and you overpay, and you go, man, it's kind of limited some of the other things, because I think Brock is best suited with supreme talent around him, and I'm more than comfortable with him being their quarterback. But if it starts to strip a little bit thinner where he needs to elevate the team, I have some questions on that. Just some questions. And maybe he'll develop into that guy over time, but there's some questions about that, whether he can do it. All right, let's get to question number 3.
Question 3.
What is your New Year's wish for the Athletics?
Hey, our other team that's coming here to Sacramento that they don't call Sacramento home yet, or maybe never will. Again, for that team, I'm not rooting against the organization. Didn't want them to move, but once it was decided they were going to, I'm happy that they're coming here. I'm going to enjoy seeing them play baseball. I like that baseball's coming to Sacramento. Dave Cavell is out. What they do there, what, John Fisher does, I have no faith in that. I would hope for their fan base that there's some sort of moment or moments while in Sacramento that they enjoy. That organization needs a pick-me-up. And it's not, hey, we got a new stadium in Vegas and we're moving here and taking all of our records and all that stuff with us. I mean, part of my sadness about them leaving and the passing of one of my favorites of all time, Ricky Henderson, here a few weeks ago, was that, he's everything Oakland, and Oakland sports scene is gone. And Ricky Henderson was a huge part of that. The A's were a huge part of that. And the fact that maybe all that stuff ultimately at some point is going to live in Las Vegas. I mean, it does happen. It has happened. Look, it's happened here. The Kansas City Kings, the Rochester and the Cincinnati Royals and all that legacy and all that lives here now, I guess. So I don't want to be naive to think that it just doesn't feel right, though. It just doesn't. And so I wish for them this year that, it'd be really fun to see if the A's could make any kind of playoff run in their time while in Sacramento. It may be wishful thinking, but maybe not. They surprised a little bit last year. I mean, they didn't have this amazing record, but I would say they overachieved. And if they can keep doing that, making the right moves despite all the things that they've got going against them with management and the threat of, or the move, the future move, I would hope that they get a nice wish for their fans that are here, that are in the Bay, even though for some it's probably too little, too late. I totally understand that. All right, so there you go. 3 questions, 3 answers. That is 3 for Madness. When we return, the Kings finally win. Doug Christie gets his first win. Why was it so difficult last night? Some of the good, some of the bad, some of the ugly from the game. We'll react to it. That is next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. It's the final day of 2024. Chilly start out there for the morning. Plan to see some areas of patchy frost around the valley. But into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's time to find your dream car at the Roseville Auto Mall. 17 award-winning dealers and the largest selection in Northern California. Now's the perfect time to save big during our end-of-year clearance sale at the Roseville Auto Mall. Driven to be the best.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's a probe and a steal. Keon Ellis again. Races to the front court. Euros to his left. Kicks to the corner. Swing to the trailer. Lyles driving a kick to Fox. Touch pass to Keon for 3. Does not get it. Sabonis offensive rebound. Out to Herter. He loads. He fires. It's short. Tracked down by Ellis. To Fox for 3. It's off the iron. Sabonis for the rebound. To Herter. Back to Ellis. Fakes the 3. Drives. Reaches with the left hand. Around and out. Tipped in by Sabonis. What an exhausting sequence that was for the Sacramento Kings.
It was one of my favorite moments of the game last night. 5 looks at it in the anticipation on every 3 of them in a row, then the layup attempt by Ellis, and finally the cleanup by Domantas Sabonis. Just shows how difficult it was for the Kings last night to get out of the hole that they were in. 6 consecutive losses. First time they've done that in 3+ years. 7 would have been brutal, especially on the circumstances of being back at home, making the coaching switch, expecting differences as far as results, and then to have Dallas. We knew Luka was out. We knew Najee Marshall was going to be out. Then Lively, Exum, Clay, and Kyrie. And down by 18 felt like a low point in the arena. And I said it, if you were at the game, I would love to hear from you guys, and people have been texting in at 339-1140 in our YouTube chat. It felt very boo-worthy. If I would, I'm not a fan of that, and this is my own personal opinion. You can fan how you want to fan, but me personally, I would never boo my team. I just don't. I don't care for it. Whatever. That's me. It's my preference. But I understand when fans do it, and I was honestly a bit shocked that we didn't hear a chorus of boo. It felt boo-worthy. I would have been like, yeah, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. I understand. They're down 18 to this Dallas team. And it's less about that. It's like, why are you down 18 to anybody? And it was almost like everybody was in disbelief of what they were watching. And so, honestly, I was a bit surprised that they weren't getting booed. And then they just kind of kept chipping away. And it was plays like that, efforts like that helped them get this victory. So, look, it's not all solved. They're certainly still going through it because that game showed it. This team inevitably has a stretch in just about every game, and it feels different than, hey, it's a game of runs. That's a fact. But, when I think of that statement, it's like, oh, Dallas went on an 8-0 run. Okay, that's fine. That's going to happen. Or Team X went on a 10-2 run on the Kings. Sure. I mean, that in this day and age, that's a 3, a miss, a 3, a turnover, a layup. Maybe you score, and then they score again, timeout, 10-2 run. You're like, all right, that's not that absurd. But this was building to an 18-point lead on the Kings, on a desperate team, on a team that, was in such a way that, like I said, no matter how it ended, that needed to end with a victory, which it did. And I think some of the points that I observed during the game that I did like, that they haven't been doing, in my opinion, in this losing streak. And the 2 reference points I'll give you are the Denver game, but more so the Detroit game. Those were 2 games. Remember, Denver, they were up 10 with 4 minutes to go. And Detroit was, I think, close to 10 with about 2.5 minutes to go. And what they did in the Detroit game, which really was agitating and aggravating to Mike Brown, and I myself included, was kind of inbound the ball, let the ball roll up, chew up some clock. Hey, there's 6 minutes to go. We got a nice lead. Let's just cruise on in. Let's play not to lose. And then you're going against a set defense, working against the shot clock, getting a bad shot or a turnover. Yesterday, I felt like they kept attacking. And there was a 3-possession sequence that I really loved. I want to say the lead was 10. And it's about 4-ish minutes to go. And the Kings went right down the floor, moved the ball a couple passes, got it to DeRozan, baseline, had a mismatch, baseline turnaround jumper, good. Got it to 12. Okay, didn't end the game, but they attacked. They found a mismatch. They didn't wait till the shot clock got to 1. They didn't hurry either. There's a fine line here, but I think they threaded the needle. And that was nice. Dallas came back down and scored on the other end, so back to 10. Kings quickly kind of got the ball up. All right, you've been scored on, but they didn't waste time. They didn't go. They didn't, milk the clock. They attacked the possession, got a shot up, a good one. I think it was Monk from the foul line, and he missed. Okay, it was a good shot. He missed. Dallas got the rebound. Now, here's where you go. Here's where I think when it's going poorly, it can sometimes pile on. I did not think the shot was too quick. I think it was an open shot, a good shot that they missed. Dallas got the rebound, came down, and took a relatively quick 3 that they missed. And I feel like that's the kind of shot that's been going on against them lately. I mean, you need some fortune, too, some good luck, and they weren't having it. And this was one that felt like what maybe who was it the other night? That was Beasley. That was just torching the Kings, hit 4 threes late. I feel like this was one that would have gone in against them 2 nights ago or a couple nights ago against Detroit. But it was a miss. I think it was Grimes. Kings got the rebound, came down again, got that same mismatch with DeRozan. Baseline turn, fire, score, timeout, Jason Kidd back to 12. And I think from that point on, he took his guns out. Kings went maybe one more possession. And I thought it was maybe a little bit early to take the 5 out for the Kings, but they did. And they ended up getting the victory. But the point being on all of that is I felt like they learned a lesson from those 2 losses where they had what appeared to be a comfortable enough lead, but they played not to lose. They stopped attacking the game that helped build them those leads. And I thought yesterday they did a really nice job of that. Let's hear some post-game reaction. Let's hear from Doug Christie, his initial thoughts on getting his first win and the team needing that win so badly.
Super proud of the guys. Obviously didn't start out the way that we wanted to, but at halftime challenged them. The third quarter in Los Angeles was the one that got us, and tonight come out and only allowed them 17 points in the third. I thought was really, really big for us. Offensively didn't run with the same pace that we did, but defensively took a bit of a step. But there's still levels to this, and some of the things that you're being asked to do, you go back to old habits, and now we got to continue to work on it. But more than anything, it's about winning, and then you go back and look at it, and then we'll continue to improve.
All right, some thoughts there from Doug Christie. Doug had a little Q&A here with the media post-game as well for DC.
Doug, how much from a psyche standpoint did the club and the team just need a win tonight?
Bad. I think that, part of one of my messages in the huddle was like, you're going and you're getting close. And Bob Marley would talk about taking the bucket to the well, and you never know when the bottom's going to fall out. But you got to keep going. You got to keep, you never know when it's going to happen. And we needed that in that way. Like, is that going to be the thing that makes it happen? Are we going to still struggle from time? Yes. But the goodwill needed to happen to show that, a lot of things that we talk about, we're able to do. Now we need to do it with the consistency, the intensity, and the aggression and violent aggression, in my opinion, that needs to be there to win games at this level.
Yeah, I think some of the other areas, and we got a couple of people pointing this out on our chat, it's very true. Differences in the game, the rebounding. Kings were great on the boards last night, and a lot of offensive rebounds led to more shot attempts. Kings had the shot attempt difference 100-76. They kind of stayed with it, stayed aggressive, kept battling. There was that sense of desperation, extra effort, all of this while they didn't shoot the ball well. And then second half defensively, giving up 40 points. I mean, that obviously was a big, big difference. Here's more post-game with Doug Christie.
Coach, this is your second game, in the head coaching position. Has there been any moments in these last 2 games where you kind of forgot you was the head coach?
No. No, when you sit in that seat, you know that you're in that seat for sure. Nah, man, I trust them, and I'm going to be as good as they are and as hard as they play and all of those things. So, I understand it. I understand what comes with that, and just trying to give them the wind underneath their wings to be as good as I know that they can be, and I think our fans want them to be.
All right, there's some more comments from Doug Christie. We've got more from Doug coming up. We've got more from the players. We'll hear from Malik Monk as well. We already heard earlier from DeMar DeRozan, kind of that sense of desperation this team was playing for, and that sense of relief to finally be on the right side of a game, to see that beam once again. When we return, though, here's your chance. 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. Do you know the Jiffy Lube drive of the game? If you can correctly identify it, the first one to do so, you will win $100 gift card courtesy of our friends at Jiffy Lube. What a way to ring in the new year if you can correctly identify that. Again, 916-339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140, our Jiffy Lube drive of the game, and more game balls and rewards and audio from the Kings win. We'll do that next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Fran!
Cisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
There's no better time than the beginning of a new year to get ready to make good on all of those promises you've made to yourself about getting fit. And there's no better place than In Shape Fitness to get the ball rolling or bouncing. So grab some friends for a game of pickup basketball on our courts. Or stretch your limits in a yoga or Pilates class. In Shape personal trainers are standing by, just waiting for the opportunity to help you create a happy new you. We are In Shape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
All over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
The holiday driving season is here, and my good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an awesome holiday oil change special going on right now. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for up to 5 quarts of full synthetic motor oil with the online coupon. Go visit jiffylube.com right now, find a location near you, and get that $33 off full synthetic oil change coupon now. Most vehicles are covered, especially vehicles and diesel or extra. You got to show the coupon for discount. See the store for details. Happy holidays from Jiffy Lube.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 16th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Don't miss more than 100 free fishing, hunting, casting, kayaking, and dog training seminars. On the weekend, take the kids to a building filled with free activities. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 16th through 19th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Here comes Monk to set up the alley-oop. Flying to the rim and pulling it down is De'Aaron Fox, the former Kentucky Wildcats. We've seen that combination multiple times the last 2.5 years come up with plays just like that.
That was the G-Man on the call last night. Kings desperate for a victory. They got it done finally. First win for Doug Christie in the Doug Christie era. First win for this team since they defeated New Orleans. First home win in multiple weeks. And finally we get to see that beam for the Sacramento Kings. Played hard. Didn't play great, but they got to win against the depleted Mavericks team. Still to come on the show, Sean Salisbury will join us. Also to start the 8 o'clock hour, Bruce Feldman from The Athletic will be joining us. We should have a good conversation about Cameron Scadaboo, a few other things, including some stuff going on at Sacramento State, and a lot more Kings conversation as we continue to take you up until 10 o'clock right here on Sacktown Sports. Also at 9, we will visit with Matt Barrows about that 49er performance last night against the Detroit Lions, in which they ultimately lost. Let's hear a little more post-game reaction, though, from last night. Here's more from Doug Christie.
Doug, obviously, a win can do so much for even a struggling team, but I'm curious for you as a player, people talk about when the game slows down, how much, things become easier. Does that happen for a coach as well? Has that happened for you yet, even in these few days that you've experienced being a head coach?
I'll tell you if it does, Sean.
Doug Christie, short and sweet there with Sean Cunningham. How about Doug Christie, his impact on this team? Let's hear from Domantas Sabonis, another double for Domas. He shared his thoughts post-game on Doug and this team.
Really cool. I spent 3 summers now with him, and he works. He works his butt off. And just to see him, instilling what he believes in the guys and the guys reacting that quickly to it, is awesome.
And this team will take the, character of its head coach, and I think Mike Brown helped build that very well, and I think Doug's going to try to do that over time. Here's more from Doug, more post-game reaction. By the way, still a chance to get in as our Jiffy Lube drive of the game, 1-800-920-1140 or 339-1140 if you do know what that was from last night. Here's Doug Christie on what the Kings still need to do to improve this season.
Hopefully, first and foremost, is a lot of, I think we got 10 or 11 losses by 5 points or less. So those are the things that we have to improve upon. One of them that I said in the huddle was clutch rebounds. What I consider clutch rebounds is a shot goes up late in the shot clock and they get a rebound and then they get another opportunity. Those are the things that we got to shore up. But more than anything, it's the defense. Defense again, and defense to finish. That's where, if we're going to make the jump offensively, I'm not worried. We have super elite players. We got one of the best guards in the league. We got if not the best, second best, whatever you want to consider in Domas, like just an incredible talent as far as all around talent. Malik, Debo, like you go down, we have those, but it's going to be up to us to go out and finish the ball games. And more than anything, that's going to be the focus going forward.
All right, there's some comments from Doug. Let's get more player reaction. How about Malik Monk? Look, this game, again, wasn't pretty early, down by 18. Where was this earlier? I mentioned how it felt boo-worthy. The fans really weren't booing. I thought they were more in shock. Texter says it's because they weren't basketball people there. The basketball people that would have booed gave away their tickets. It's that simple. Well, I don't know if that's the case, but I was a little surprised that they didn't get showered with boos at some point the way the game started. But nonetheless, they did regroup, and they had a big back half of the third quarter into the fourth quarter, and Malik Monk shared kind of his thoughts on the way they approached that third quarter of the game.
We said it from the in the locker room at half because we gave the Lakers 42 in the first quarter. Third quarter, we gave them 41. We know those are kryptonites right now. So we just tried to come out there and stay locked in, make them call the first time out, play harder than them the first 3 minutes, and I think that's what we did.
As the season goes along, you get into little pockets where some players are playing well, others are not. Right now we're in a stretch where Trey Lyles is playing well. I would say he's one of the guys that deserved a game ball from last night. Malik Monk, here was a funny back and forth post-game where Malik Monk was asked about the impact that Trey is having right now with the team.
Since he's been back, he lost a lot of pounds. He was fat at the beginning of the year. Put on lost some of them LBs, and he's moving around now. So yeah, that's it. That just he just lost some pounds, and that's it.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
Well, we'll see how that played for Trey Lyles. Speaking of Lyles, let's get more from Doug Christie talking about Trey's impact on this team last night.
Yeah, he was big time. I mean, I've had a strained calf and lower injuries and different things, and I understand that when you come back, there's a trust issue. with yourself, trying to make sure, and all the different things that go along with that. But to his credit, again, the fighting through, and he had a big time rebound, charge, threes, just playing with the type of pace and aggression that when he's all the way healthy that he plays with. So I gave him a big hug and told him thank you, because without him, without all of them, this was a team win, from our bench energy to our bench communication in the huddles to the starters to foul trouble. Like, you go across the board, and those are the things that I want to see, because this is a team sport. We are a team. Every single one of us. We had G League guys there. Everybody. This was about everybody. This is not about me. It's about them, and the fact that they were able to overcome. I'm just super proud of them.
Yeah, I'd said the other day, this was even before the dismissal of Mike Brown, I thought the way out of this was to honestly play the five they start, play the three guys the most off the bench, being Herter, Ellis, and Lyles, in whatever order that is. And I think what we've seen through 2 games so far with Doug Christie is that's been his 8, but he's also thrown in Alex Len to give a little relief and a little bit of size. A relief for Sabonis and a little bit of size into the paint. And, Len's got his drawbacks too. Look, this isn't a perfect roster, but I like the way Doug said it, and Mike Brown has said it too, that they believe there's enough in that locker room to win and win consistently. And when you say that, I don't want that to be confused with we're talking about the Cavs or the Thunder or Boston or some championship caliber teams. But why can't this team be what the Clippers are doing, what the Lakers, some of these other teams that are in that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 range? I think they can. I don't think that's too big of an ask for this team. And then if you get there, then it's about your playoff matchup or your play-in matchup, and can you get through it? And, that obviously would be still the goal that this team would try to achieve. But, what'll be an interesting element is when Devin Carter is cleared. Yes, it's another guard, but where will he fit in? And if he's a guard and you're small, but he still helps you, play him. I mean, it'll hurt somebody's minutes along the way, and maybe it's sprinkled all the way through for a lot of the perimeter guys. But, if guys continue to underperform, I'm sorry, it's a competitive business, then Carter would move ahead of you, or whoever starts to play better. Or if you make a trade and a new player has an impact on this team, you've got to give yourself the best chance to win. And I think Doug will do that. He'll continue. And I think Mike Brown was trying to do that, but he'll find his footing. He's still new at this. He'll make his mistakes. The other coaches will make their mistakes. The players have made their mistakes. But I've always been personally such a big fan of Doug. I've always liked his approach. I like the way he seemingly talks to the players and to the media. And I don't know, I probably have to remove some of my fandom of him to be fairly critical when I need to be critical of him. But so far, he's been dealt a pretty difficult hand. And I think in the first 2 games, I like what I've seen. And really, in the end, he said it. He's going to be as good as the players. And if the players don't play better, you could have whoever you call the best coach in the league, or the, Phil Jackson, Spoelstra, Red Auerbach, Pat Riley. Your guys have to play. And they have to play to their best, play smart, play hard, execute. And I think for the most part this year, I would say for the most part they've played hard. Execution has lacked, certainly in crunch time. And I said it yesterday, some of these metrics that they have right now don't add up to what their record has shown. And I think their talent doesn't exactly match their record. But they've earned it. That is their record. They've done this to themselves. Certainly maybe some bad luck, but that's not giving you 19 losses of bad luck. So we'll see. We'll see what's next going forward for them. All right, coming up next, we'll switch gears for a moment. Again, we're back to more Kings, plenty more Kings discussion. But Bruce Feldman from The Athletic, we got the college football bowl games going on. Cameron Scadaboo, local product, now in the national spotlight for Arizona State, will be featured in a bowl game tomorrow. He was in the Heisman running. He wrote a great piece on Scadaboo. We're going to talk to him about that, about the bowl season, and about some things going on at Sacramento State. All that straight ahead with Bruce Feldman next.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
When your little one has a cold with a fever, try new Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. It's the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever offers fast, effective cold and fever relief for kids ages 6 and up with a delicious grape flavor that kids love. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever will help them feel better fast so they can get back to the fun stuff quickly. New Dayquil Kids Cold and Cough Plus Fever. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. It's the final day of 2024. Chilly start out there for the morning. Plan to see some areas of patchy frost around the valley, but into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's time to find your dream car at the Roseville Auto Mall. 17 award-winning dealers and the largest selection in Northern California. Now's the perfect time to save big during our end-of-year clearance sale at the Roseville Auto Mall. Driven to be the best.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, Jason Ross back here on this December 31st. We've had a ton of discussion on the Sacramento Kings finally getting that win last night they desperately needed. We'll bounce back into the Kings in a few moments, but it's a pleasure now to be joined by Bruce Feldman from The Athletic. He's a national college football insider, and Bruce is well connected in this industry and wrote an amazing piece on one of our own, a local guy, Cameron Scadaboo, obviously played high school ball here in our area at Rio Linda, then went to Sacramento State, and now is on that national stage at Arizona State and just killing it and into that quarterfinal round that a lot of people here rooting for him. But Bruce, joining me, Jason Ross here on the show. Bruce, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us.
Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed your article from The Athletic, and if everybody hasn't seen it, certainly go check it out. You did a really nice deep dive into Cameron Scadaboo's parents, his brother, coaches at all sorts of levels. And it kind of, I guess, was always there, seemingly, some of the stories you were able to dig up, that this guy truly is something special.
Yeah, it was interesting because obviously I've followed Cam's story from afar, and I had talked to him at Big 12 Media Days this summer for a little while. And, he'd always been I work on the Big Noon show for Fox, and Mark Ingram, my colleague, the former Heisman Trophy winner, a huge fan of Scadaboo. He was like kind of this kind of culture among our own group. And I had once sent Mark the video of Cam from the state title game where he breaks 11 tackles. I mean, it doesn't look real. It looks like, something you'd see in a movie. And, I'm watching him in the Big 12 title game. He's running all over Iowa State and just, making them look like, Pee-wee players compared to him. And I was like, I wanted the idea for the story was asking people who've been around him, when was the moment they realized, whoa, this guy's just way different? And with that as like kind of the premise of the story, I started getting amazing stories, from his dad, from his mom, from his brother, as you said, but from, his high school coach and guys who coached against him and different, there's a coach in that area, Chris Horner, great storyteller, like Cam's high school coach connected me with him, and, Jack Garso, great storyteller. And I think what is so cool about this story is so many people, especially back then, were like, we know he's special, even if all these other big schools aren't interested. And this year, the last years really has been validation of, oh yeah, we were right. We weren't imagining that he was this super talented, next level kind of player. And so just to see that, obviously happy for Cam, because there's a lot of stuff as I got into the story, stuff I didn't know about, in his own background that he's had to overcome and battle through. And he has.
As we're talking with Bruce Feldman from The Athletic, Bruce, I call games for Sacramento State, so I got a chance and was lucky enough to call his 2 years as a Hornet, and I think about plays where he would seek contact. I think about an onside kick where he literally carried about 6 players into the end zone with him that he returned, from about the 35-yard. I mean, there were so many plays that I think back that I just marvel at him. And then when I started reading your story, I think about the one story I believe his mom was telling about his dad playing softball, and he, basically like Spider-Man scurries up the chain link fence behind the dugout and above, and he's now looking over the top of his dad playing softball. Everybody's freaking out, and he's a toddler, and he just climbs back down like Spider-Man, and it's like, yeah, this all kind of checks out. I mean, it's just he's kind of one of one. He's really a unique player, isn't he?
He is. I mean, just a unique talent. I mean, just beyond the player. You talk to Coach Agnew, who was the running backs coach there, as you know, at Sac State, now he's at Stanford. And he was like, he's a great baseball player. I think at some point people think he's probably even more talented at that, which is hard to believe considering how talented he is at this, right? Where his incredible balance and strength, but also like his will and determination all are big parts of what makes him such a special running back, and so, they're talking about all this. I can only imagine what it was like for you to see him there, and now to see this is like, yeah, it all checks out. That story his mom told me just really kind of blew my mind. It sounded like, I'm imagining like the little kid from The Incredibles.
Yes.
In the movie, like he was that. And just the bike. Once I heard his dad told me the bicycle story when he's not even 3 years old. I was like, I called my editor and I was like, I have a great Cam Scatterbo story that I'm going to write, and it's just because the stories are so amazing.
Talking with Bruce Feldman. So, Bruce, while he was here as a Hornet, I mean, he was great. He was Conference Player of the Year his second year, then goes into the transfer portal. And me, like a lot of people, I was sad to see him go. And I thought, well, at ASU, I mean, it's an opportunity then in the Pac-12, now in the Big 12. Like, I think he'll do some things, but I'm, maybe a little even curious how he'll do at that level. And he's just been absolutely amazing. So then if we fast forward that as a professional, I mean, every time people doubt Cam, he comes through. What kind of a pro prospect is he?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt him at this point. Like, I mean, you're seeing what he's doing there. He's got himself in better shape, too. I mean, one other thing that, it didn't end up in the story, but, like, Cam and some of his coaches actually said, like, it wasn't like he was a track kid who was running 4.35, in high school. So I think there was a question of, like, would his speed, at that point, would that limit him? And, we've seen him continue to elevate himself. And he did that this off season, as he told me. So again, we see a lot of guys in the NFL who are really physical, punishing runners. Very few are like Saquon Barkley, where you're seeing 70-yard runs in these long runs. It's a lot of times the guys who are, whether it's Josh Jacobs or you can go down the list, there's a lot of guys in the NFL who don't run. They're really good running backs who don't run 4.45 or faster, who have a lot of success in staying power. I would, at this point, I would not bet against them. I think, to see what he's done, again, he's run against some really good teams. Now, I'm excited to see what he does tomorrow night, on an even bigger stage. And he has called his shot. I mean, he's not been shy at all about what he thinks, he can do, and why, honestly, why would he not think otherwise? He's proven it every time. He's the guy who for a long time seems like he's over-delivered. And so, I wouldn't doubt him. I think you'd be a fool to doubt him.
Tomorrow they are, I think, about 13, 14-point underdogs against Texas. Just as far as the game goes, I don't doubt him. Can his team pull off that upset?
They can. I think it's a long shot to think they will, just because I think Texas has too many weapons on offense. And I think, again, where they've had trouble, and this being Texas, where they've had trouble, is when Georgia really got after them. And they are, Georgia's different kind of, players than what ASU has, in the defensive front, but a lot of credit to Kenny Dillingham. He is a very creative, aggressive coach. And what I think, and, Kenny and some of his coaches echoed this, you watch them play, especially you watch them in that Big 12 title game. They were without their best receiver, and they are feeding off of Cam's energy. You could see that, their freshman quarterback. There are guys who are like elevating, because I feel like it's like they're all kind of in that moment where it's almost like a basketball team where, one guy starts raining in threes, and then all of a sudden it's like guys who normally don't shoot that well are all of a sudden hitting them. I feel like that's how they are. But, this is going to be obviously the biggest test, because Texas is so loaded on both sides of the ball.
Talking with Bruce Feldman from the Athletic National College Football Insider. A great story on local product here, Cam Scatterbo, and he's in that quarterfinal run. Do you have a pick? We're here to the top 8 seeds are all left. Who's the last one standing, do you think, Bruce? This
tournament, I picked Oregon. A big part of it was because the quarterback that they have, Dylan Gabriel, is the one I have the most confidence in on a big stage. And I'm going to stick with it. Now, I picked Ohio State in the beginning of the year, and then picked them in the, at midseason, even after they lost to Oregon. But that game they had against Michigan, which I was at the end of the year, was sobering, and just wonder, they've been wildly inconsistent. I think whereas Oregon hasn't, it wouldn't surprise me if Ohio State ended up beating them by 2 touchdowns. But if by the same token, I just have a little more confidence, because I feel like I know what I'm getting with Oregon, whereas Ohio State and some of these other teams, you could say the same about Georgia and Texas certainly too. they're really inconsistent, So at this point, I'm going to go with the quarterback who's played a lot of big games. They have a lot of good players on both sides of the ball. They're good on special teams. My hunch is Oregon ends up at the end of this, giving Phil Knight his first college football national title at 86 or 87 or whatever it is.
Bruce, want to ask you one more thing locally here about Sacramento State. I saw you posted on Twitter about, they were going to hire a general manager, which is something that's kind of relatively new here to a lot of FBS programs. The Hornets are a team that's trying to move up. If they can get that invite to one of these conferences, they hire Brennan Marion from UNLV. They're up and coming offensive coordinator. So there's a lot of noise out here about some of the moves they've made. Just your thought on kind of that GM hiring, Marion's hiring, and what that could ultimately mean for Sacramento State's future.
Yeah, I think it was a good hire. I mean, you got a guy, Simon, who had been a front office guy in the CFL for a decade and had been a GM, this past year for a CFL franchise. Brennan Marion's super sharp. He's one of the brighter offensive minds who's come into college football in a while. He was successful at the FCS level, and for people who don't know much about his story, I mean, he was a terrific college receiver and played in the NFL. He kind of has bet on himself everywhere he's been. He has his go-go offense, and it was interesting. When Barry Odom got the job to be the head coach, 2 years ago, he hired Bobby Petrino to be the offense coordinator. Obviously, Petrino was a big name. Petrino ends up bailing, after about a month to go to Texas A&M, and he gives Brennan Marion a shot. And Brennan Marion crushes it. I mean, and the thing that impressed me the most is the first month of the season, going into the year, they have one of the best quarterbacks, in the conference go down. They plug in a redshirt freshman who's never played, Jaden Mayava. He leads them to the best season in like 40 years. And then he goes off to USC. They have another guy come in a transfer, Matt Sluka. He's a starter for a month. He ends up leaving the team. The backup, Malik Williams, comes in, and he ends up leading him to an even better season. I just think no matter who his quarterback is, no matter who's on his offense, they're going to move the football and score points. And I could see a lot of kids wanting to play for him. I just think you've got a guy who's got a real edge to him, and I think he knows what he's doing on offense. And I think they're going to make a bunch of noise. I'm going to keep an eye on the Hornets just because I know what this guy's done as an offensive coach over the last few years, and I think he will make it really interesting for people there.
It's going to be exciting for a lot of people here. I know a lot of people are excited to see what Cam Scadaboo can do in the playoffs here for Arizona State. And if you haven't read Bruce's article about Cam and those telling stories about him, it's really a must read from The Athletic. Bruce, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I'm a big fan of your work. Thank you for joining us, and love to talk to you again in the future.
Thanks so much for the kind words and about the story. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. That's Bruce Feldman from The Athletic. When we come back, more show to get to, more on the Kings, and Sean Salisbury, as well as the 8 o'clock hour continues here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, bam, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you will take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
As the final 7 seconds tick away, the Kings are going to be able to light the beam. The last home win was against the Utah Jazz. It was back on December 8th. This is the 30th of December. That was 3 weeks and a day ago. But the Kings will gladly take a 110-100 triumph, the first win of Doug Christie's coaching career. The largest come-from-behind win of the season for the Kings as they were down 18 in the first half of this one. 110-100 is the final, and everybody can take a collective sigh of relief.
Oh, sigh of relief, yes, the collective sigh of relief. Mentioned it earlier right off the top of the show if you missed it. Took a different route home. Wanted to see that beam. And it was nice to see. Thanks again to Bruce Feldman for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that. And really, Chris, I think you tipped me off first to that article about Cam Scadaboo.
Actually, you tipped me off to it.
I told you about Scadaboo first? I thought you told me about it first.
You told me about it. You said, I'm just reading this story.
Maybe someone else. I can't remember who. Someone told me about it first. And then you got him on, which was great. He was it's crazy, some of the stuff that people were saying. And then, some of these coaches I knew, like Troy Taylor's in there, Malcolm Agnew, who's with Troy now at Stanford, but was at Sac State. And there's like the mixture of like the super competitor. I think Troy said he was kind of a prick and he was like super competitive. He just kept jumping in line. But that just showed what he was as a competitor. But I never felt that vibe from him at all. But I felt the competitor vibe. He was just so believing in himself. And if anybody hasn't seen that run that Bruce Feldman's talking about from high, it does look fake.
I remember when he first started making a name for himself at Sac State, and I'm like, oh man, this Cam Scadaboo. And the first thing he says, you have to watch this run.
Yeah. And then I've shown that runs to so many people, and we've all seen a run like it. And then where it changes, and part of it may even be the filming, but like he bounces off people, looks like he's going to get tackled, Then there's one where he's literally in a scrum and he's somewhere in the middle and it just feels like the pile's going to fall down and you don't even see him. And then, wait, he got out of that? And then he's gone. And this is after getting hit, breaking tackles, seeking contact. And that was the thing that, in calling his games for 2 years that I literally laughed at. I remember this one still so vividly at Cal Poly, where he caught a pass, Chris, from the press box where I'm looking at, like he has the angle, and almost every player I've ever seen in the history of football, when they have the angle to the pylon or to the end zone, they're going to take it because he was ahead. He's not going to get caught, and he's starting to go that way and looks back and sees the defensive back and is like, you want some? And he just goes back towards him and blasts him, knowing that he'll ultimately get tackled into the end zone. But it's like, okay, you're coming after me. You're going to pay for it.
It's fun. You see something like that and you're
like,
cram. You see something like that, like, okay, yeah, but this is, no offense, but this is Cal Poly and this is Sac State. This is something that you can't do at a bigger program.
And he's doing it.
And he does it at Arizona State. Yeah. It's like, this is stupid.
And that's why I had my reservations. I didn't doubt that he'd be good. I go, he'll be pretty good at Arizona State, but this is a level up. And again, I'm not doubting him, but he, the first time I saw him, I'd heard about him. And then I saw him at practice and I'm like, wait, that guy? He's even in pads. He's not massive, and certainly out of pads. You could tell he's put together, but he's short. And then you just go, people can't tackle him. His balance, his vision. And then, the more I watched him play, I'm like, he's going to be able to help because look, he throws the ball. He catches it. He can punt. He obviously runs. I just think there's a spot for him somewhere on an NFL roster.
It's funny because throughout watching him play, it first started like, oh man, this might be the best Sac State player ever. But I mean, Sac State.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, wow, he's doing so good for Sac State. He might be able to make the NFL, like as a practice. Then he goes to Arizona State, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You're not asking like, will he make the NFL? It's like he's going to get drafted.
Yeah. I mean, he was fifth in the Heisman, and he said he was the best running back in the country. That's with Gentry, at Boise State, and that's his confidence. He believes in himself. Has had a massive year, and now they're 2 touchdown underdogs tomorrow against Texas. But I wish him the best. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know Cameron Scadaboo, watching him, and I hope if you missed that interview with Bruce Feldman, go back to SactownSports.com, our podcast page when it's posted. I think you'll enjoy it, and certainly read the article.
Yeah, it's crazy because like in this day and age, everything is on video, everything is like recorded. There's not that many tall tales anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like with him, it's just like you don't know what's fact or fiction.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like him as a kid, like growing up, it's just like, dude, this kid was wild.
Yes. And you're like, I don't know where he's going to end up being. And he's ended up being this incredible football player. And you're right, to the tall tales. Like I was telling Bruce Feldman, I mean, I saw him catch an onside kick. And, a lot of times people just on the hands team will get the onside kick and just dive down. Well, he caught it and ran. And he literally, I think I said carried 6 defenders, but I feel pretty comfortable saying it was 6 defenders like the last 10 yards. Now, granted, they were trying to strip the ball, but he wasn't stopping, and he scored again. And there were so many amazing individual plays that he made as a Hornet that he's certainly doing now at Arizona State. So, again, our thanks to Bruce Feldman for joining us there. Back to the Kings and what we saw last night. Still want your reaction to the victory. 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Kind of where you stand on it. My overall stance, again, is that. I mean, it's not problem solved. It's not all is right in the world. It's sigh of relief. It was needed. The team needed it. The fan base needed it. I'll say it. I needed it. I mean, I think when you get into a losing stretch, and if you've heard me, Dave, anybody else, Drapes, Whitey, Styles, anybody for a long enough period of time, I know some of the stuff I would tell you too is just winning a game just changes the tone, even if it's short-lived, even if they play Philly tomorrow and get housed. For this 24, 48 hours, this group needed this. They needed to feel good. They needed a reward. I don't think in the entirety of the 6-game losing streak, it wasn't all bad basketball, but a lot of it was. The Denver game probably should have been a win, could have been a win. Detroit, they gave the game away. Now, Indiana, they're awful. Maybe all 3 of the Laker games, really, they were pretty bad. So, again, they earned it. They deserved it. They dug this deficit, and they dug this hole. But last night, the things that were likable to me, the effort, the rebounding, the passion they showed. Look, they were frustrated. They were getting technicals. They were getting antsy. I think De'Aaron Fox, honestly, probably should have been or could have been tossed from the game. He wasn't. They avoided that. He played great. He played with an attitude. I thought the team played with an attitude. Like, again, they were on the brink of maybe completely falling apart. Down by 18 to a depleted team. I mean, embarrassment is just written right there in front of them. This could have been, when people say, can't get any worse. We were going down a road where you've lost 6 games in a row. You fired a coach. You're losing to a team that if I asked Doug Christie and the coaching staff and maybe the players, and I said, hey, look, I'm going to give you for one night, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you a little reward, Kings. You need a little treat. I'm going to give you the Dallas Mavericks roster, and why don't you, with this pen, cross out 6 names? I'll let you pick any 6. You can take them off the roster. And I'm more than certain they would have selected Luka. I know they would have selected Kyrie. Pretty darn sure they would have selected Clay. I'm pretty sure they would have selected Lively. Marshall might have been on their short list. Not sure Exum would, but maybe they would have added Dinwiddie or Washington. But for the most part, they took out the guys. They would have taken out the guys that weren't available. And those guys weren't there. Doesn't mean Dallas wasn't capable of winning. And obviously they showed they were by leading by 18. So it was going down a road of possibly, when people always want to seem to define what's rock bottom. I don't know if that would have been it, but that would have been a reference point that would have been debated on, right? If you lost by no matter what, one or double digits the way it was going to Dallas with the personnel they had out and based on the circumstances the Kings were going through, that would have been pretty darn low. But they worked themselves back in it by halftime, had a little wobbly situation in the third, and then that 25-3 run where there was some good basketball there. Obviously, shots started to go, made some defensive stops. They figured out how to guard P.J. Washington, who started 7 of 8 but finished 1 for 12, and held him to 40 points in the second half. Rebounded effectively, played with passion, played with emotion. And in the end, we saw some smiles. We saw some joy. We saw some relief. And we saw a much-needed win to wrap up 2024 for the Sacramento Kings. And boy, did they need that. So more on this to come. Matt Barrows to join us at 9. We will recap our 3 in the key predictions, and we'll have some more going forward for tomorrow's game because we won't have a show tomorrow. We're off tomorrow morning, but we'll be back for Kings basketball tomorrow night and then back here on Thursday as well for another couple of shows to ring in the new year. But when we return, 4 down territory. We got our top 5 teams in the NFL, bottom 5 teams. We'll look at our MVP candidates and Coach of the Year candidates in the NFL. 4 down territory is next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. It's the final day of 2024. Chilly start out there for the morning. Plan to see some areas of patchy frost around the valley, but into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
When it's cold and rainy outside, Bonnie is leading the way home. Right now, stay warm and cozy with a full furnace tune-up, just $59. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Schedule an appointment today at Bonnie.com.
Welcome back to another exciting game day. Grab your rally towels, throw on your jerseys, cheer, shout, and save on your gas. That's right, sports fans win big on home game days. Score instant savings of 25 cents per gallon on Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline with the Fuel Rewards program. And that's a victory for you and your tailgate team. Download the app, join the Fuel Rewards program today, and game on. Restrictions apply. Limited time. At participating Shell stations. For more details, visit fuelrewards.com.
Yeah, that's my girl. Dylan Scott, Country Till I Die Tour. That's my girl. Platinum selling artist Dylan Scott. With special guests Jackson Dean and Avery Anna. You just can't have mine. Thank God she loves me. God knows I got so lucky. Friday, January 10th, 7 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
The year-end sell-a-thon is on at Folsom Lake Ford. Get massive last-chance discounts on your favorite new Fords. Zero-down deals and low finance rates on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Tom's Watch Bar, your ultimate sports watching destination for all Kings games, hosted live by Sacktown Sports. With 360-degree viewing, surround sound, premium food and drink, and game day vibes that match being at the game, Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for all Sacramento Kings fans.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
The good news? Now that you've lost the excess weight, InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look with everything from fitness classes to full-length mirrors to admire your new self. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
There's a reason why more and more people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Up fake, stretch, kick to the corner to beat the buzzer for three. Trey Lyles knocks down the triple. 25-3 is the run.
There's that big run that I was referring to that the Kings went on to catch Dallas, go right past Dallas, and get the victory last night in a much, much needed win. Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully you're going to have a good evening tonight. Have some fun. Be safe. Enjoy yourself, and welcome in 2025. We wish the best for everyone out there. We're going to take you till 10. Still to come at 9 o'clock. We will visit with Matt Barrows, recap that Niners loss last night, and get an update on Brock Purdy as he got injured late in that game. A couple things here before we get to 4 down territory. Where was this text? My son is an ASU freshman flying to Atlanta right now for the Peach Bowl. I watched Cam Scadaboo live versus Kansas. He is on the freaking kickoff team. Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. Cam can play anywhere. He's kind of must watch. He's a unique player. And if you hadn't seen him play, I encourage you to, I don't know if they're going to beat Texas. They're not favored to, but make sure you check out that game just to watch a local product here. Kind of a local legend. And, Chris, I brought this up before. And look, everybody's path is different. People choose how they want to go forward. And I think what has happened here, and the two examples I'll give is Sac State and UC Davis. So Cameron Scadaboo had 2 amazing years at Sac State. The second one, he was named Offensive Player of the Year in the Big Sky, and he ultimately goes in the transfer portal, has 2 great years at Arizona State. Lan Larison, amazing running back, one of the best UC Davis has ever had, was the conference's best runner a year ago, came back, was a Walter Payton finalist. I mean, he was one of the best running backs in the nation, elected to stay. Nothing wrong with that either. Had a great year, and I think he still has a path to make it to the professional level too. So I had wished that Scadaboo had stayed, but I think the biggest difference for him, he has just grown, like Bruce Feldman's writing about him. I said this a couple weeks ago. I think when they were in their conference championship game, I know Nick Saban has said it's his favorite player. McAfee's talking about him. Timothy Chalamet was the celebrity picker on game day. He's like, I love Cameron Scadaboo. So he's just gotten onto a wider and larger scope and scale, and now a lot more people know him, and he's killing it at ASU. So best of luck to him.
I mean, you can make an argument with the success that Sac State is having on trying to get to the Pac-12. Like a little bit is because of Scadaboo.
Sure. It's their past success, and he's part of it. They didn't have a great year this year, but where they're trying to go and what Coach Marion now is doing, and yeah, it's an amazing journey to watch the ever-changing landscape of college sports and certainly college football. All right, with that said, though, it's time for 4 down territory. More Kings conversation coming up, but Chris, let's fire away. First down.
Who are your top 5 teams in the NFL?
All right, right now, the latest after 17 weeks, I'm going to go at number 5. Maybe could be higher, but a little concerned with the injury at quarterback to Jalen Hurts. Pickett's played the last couple weeks. Even he got hurt in last week's game. But I'm going to put the Philadelphia Eagles, who got back in the win column, still having a great year at 13-3. I'm going to put them at number 5. The question they have going forward, does Saquon Barkley go for the rushing record or rest? I kind of want to see him go for that record, but we'll see what happens this week. At number 4, the Buffalo Bills. They've won 3 in a row. They're also 13-3. They've looked good. I'm going to keep them there at number 4. At number 3, a team I still don't think is getting enough respect. They've won 9 in a row. They're 14-2, and they could win the North this week if they beat Detroit. And that's the Minnesota Vikings, 14-2. Kevin O'Connell's done a great job. At number 2, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions. They won again last night. They have some flaws defensively, but 14-2, a great offense. They've had an amazing year. And number 1, they're the 2-time defending champs. They kind of skate by a lot of their games. So the last couple have been a little better. They won 6 in a row, the Chiefs, at 15-1. I'll put them at number 1. So I got KC, Detroit, Minnesota, Buffalo, followed by Philly as the top 5. All right, second down.
Who are your bottom 5 teams in the NFL?
Hey, Raiders, 2 wins in a row. Got you out of there. They moved you out of the bottom 5. At number 28, the 5th worst team. I think it might be the first time I've had them there, maybe the second, but the Jets. They're a hot mess. And I said this yesterday, I think, on the show. I don't want the Kings to be a comp to the Jets. The Jets were a team that they thought would be good, thought should have enough talent. They made an in-season trade, made a coaching firing, and it hasn't gotten better. I don't want the Kings to go down that path, but that's a comp I'm looking at, just kind of keeping my eye on. But the Jets, I have as the 5th worst team. The 4th worst team, they won last week. The New York's other team, not the Bills, but the Giants at 29. The Browns, I had higher hopes for them this year. Injuries and just poor play. They are 3-13. They're going to be my 3rd worst team. 2nd worst, the Titans, also 3-13, and bringing up the rear, New England. I think they've lost 6 or 7 in a row, and they just don't have a look of a good team at all. So I'm going to go with the Jets, followed by the Giants, followed by the Browns, Titans, and then the Patriots bringing up the rear. All right, third down.
Who are your top 5 MVP candidates in the NFL?
All right, in no particular order, give me Lamar Jackson, give me Josh Allen, give me Joe Burrow, Jared Goff I think should be in there. And I really think Saquon Barkley should be getting more love.
That's weird. I'm reading number 6 is Cam Scatterbo.
He's just receiving votes from me as the NFL MVP of the year. I don't know why Barkley's not getting more love. Look, Philly checks the box with the record, 13-3, winning the division. They should check the box for total yards of what he's done. Also, people know the stat, I believe, of the amount of times he's rushed to the 1-yard line, and Jalen Hurts has finished that drive with a touchdown. If those touchdowns went to Barkley, his stats would be even better. If he breaks the rushing record, I know it's in one more game, but he did 2016 games. I know it's such a quarterback-driven league, so I guess that's the answer. But I want Barkley to get a little more love. So give me Barkley, give me Burrow, Jackson, Goff, and Allen as my 5 MVP candidates, and no particular order there. All right, fourth down.
Who are your top 5 Coach of the Year candidates in the NFL?
All right, again, no particular order, no favorite here. Dan Quinn's done a great job with the Commanders. I would have to put Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings and what they've done at 14-2 and their bounce back. Sean Payton for Denver. I think he's done a nice job. Jim Harbaugh with the Los Angeles Chargers. And if I need a 5th, I expected Campbell and the Lions to be good. Maybe I'll go with Mike Tomlin. I think he's done a nice job too. So I don't know who ultimately is going to get it. Maybe it's going to be O'Connell or Quinn. They've done a really good job there. Harbaugh too, but those would be my 5 candidates for Coach of the Year this year in the NFL. All right, there's 4 down territory. When we return, more on the Kings' impressive victory. Well, it may not be impressive for some, but I can tell you it was needed for a lot of people. We'll look back at our 3 in the key for the Kings and the Mavs. We'll have a 3 in the key for the Kings and the Sixers for tomorrow's game since we're off tomorrow. And who's hot, who's not. We'll do all that and more straight ahead. Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know I'm a huge fan of their SUVs and sedans, but they also have a huge Vans fleet center. Listen up, business owners. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of tax deductions. They have the perfect van to power your fleet, including the new fully electric e-Sprinter alongside their very reliable diesel options. And even if you aren't a business owner, let's say you just want one for personal reasons. Maybe you want to go out on the town with the fellas or with the ladies, or maybe you want to take the kids on a road trip. Well, their vans are fully customizable. So check out Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now. You can choose from their dependable diesel models or even go all electric with the new e-Sprinter. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now and check out their fleet center. Or, of course, you can go online at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-889-5566, 800-889-5566, 800-889-5566.
Happy New Grill. Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat as we did on Christmas Eve. Bring out all the flavors of the new year with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you Happy New Year. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado. Now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available. Special financing leasing some of their offers.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
All right, Chris. Well, you've got that question for us. Who is hot?
The Detroit Lions.
Okay.
They are 14-2 this season, and last night beat the Niners 40-34. That is the fifth time this season that the Lions have scored 40 or more points. That is the most by any team in a single season in NFL history.
I mean, they got a good thing going, at least offensively. Is that the team who are you rooting for to get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'd say the Lions. Like, how can you not root for them?
Yeah, I think the Lions-Bills would be a lot of fun just for multiple reasons. I think the game would be good.
See, I would want, like, Lions versus Chiefs.
And then you'd root for the Lions.
Yeah, so you've got, like, one team that everyone expects to win and the one team that everybody wants to beat them.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because Lions-Bills, I think I would probably honestly be torn. I'd be happy because someone's going to win, but then you also go, dang, one of these organizations is going to have their hearts
you need
out
stakes.
Again. Yeah. Well, good for the Lions, bad for the Niners in that case. So the Lions are hot. How about on the other side? Who is not?
Manchester United Football Club.
You said that with some joy.
Yesterday, they lost to Newcastle 2-0. They've only won 2 Premier League games this month, but this has been their best month this season because they have only won 1 Premier League game in each month. They're currently in 14th place.
14th?
And are only 7 points ahead of relegation.
I was about to ask. So, I mean, what are the odds that happens?
Very, very slim.
Okay.
But if it did.
Okay, now, I know you'll be honest with me, but like, what would be more fulfilling to keep them at your team's, at Man City's level and beat them all the time, or have them relegated?
If they were to get relegated, it would be very close to the 3rd favorite season of all time for me.
Okay.
Like if Manchester City ended up, like, say they just end up doing worse and they end up in 12th, but Manchester United got relegated, it would be one of the greatest seasons of my life.
Is it possible? I mean, I've got an idea, but what would be a comp to that? Who would that be in MLB, NBA, or in NFL getting relegated?
The Yankees.
That big?
Yeah. The Yankees, the Patriots, the Lakers.
Okay. Just power. Cowboys. Wow. And a lot of people would love that too.
Oh my God.
In different parts of the world.
I think every club in England would have a parade.
So what's it going to take to happen? I mean, you said 7 points. That's not really going to happen.
It would be very tough. There are some terrible teams behind them. They would have to, and as bad as they've been, they would have to get worse.
What's happened? What's going on?
They're a bad team. They're not set up well. They've had injuries. They don't know what to. They've changed managers again. The manager doesn't have the players he wants. People want out.
Yeah. Wow. So they're not hot. And you are enjoying every minute of that.
Yes.
Good for you. That's a funny thing about sports. Like, I would hope most people's priority is their team to win. But if there's a team they don't like, there's a lot of joy in seeing them fail.
Like when USC got all their wins taken away.
I was more than happy with that. Or really the last couple of years. Like, look, when they do something, like I was really upset when they hired Lincoln Riley. I'm like, oh man, this could be some sort of incredible run. And then I'm hearing a bunch of people nationally like, it's not a matter of one, but how many titles will Lincoln Riley win? I'm like, man, this could just be a juggernaut. And it just hasn't taken place. And I've enjoyed every minute of that. But I also don't want to say like that could turn as quickly as next year.
One of my favorite things was Lamb. Right when that happened, when they're like, oh, we're taking all their wins away and your trophies, I said to Lamb, remember that Notre Dame USC game when they pushed Leinart in for the touchdown? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, how? It never happens.
Yeah, it never happens. Not a victory. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the part that's, we all saw it. It did happen, but it's just weird taking those victories away. All right, so that's who's hot, who's not. Let's see how we did last night in our predictions. We might have a pretty significant prediction correct, but we'll see. As we recap 3 in the key from yesterday, we made our predictions for Kings and Mavericks. A game, obviously, in which the Kings came back to win. Their largest come-from-behind win this year. Trailed by 18. All right, here we go. I asked Chris and I the scoring comparison between Fox versus Kyrie.
You're on a run.
I am on a run of identifying players that aren't playing, and I'm going to run the risk again coming up here on our Philly prediction. As we know, Kyrie did not play, but I said 28 for Fox, 31 for Kyrie. Chris said 27 for Fox, 27 for Kyrie. Well, we both missed on Kyrie, obviously did not play, and De'Aaron scored 33 points for the Kings. Then we asked, how many three-pointers would the Kings make last night? I predicted 11. Chris, you predicted 18. At the end of the night, the Kings made 10.
Ooh.
Our random stat, I predicted that Jay Crowder would get some playing time. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, none. Even when they cleared the bench. That's even another weird thing. Remember, he started without even a practice?
Yeah.
And started a couple games. He was okay. I mean, like, I'm not saying he should be playing a ton, but I just thought, okay, it just might be a little different. Maybe he gets some run. Nope, didn't play at all. But Chris said, keep in mind the Kings had lost 6 straight games, and when Chris made this prediction, we were assuming Kyrie was playing. We were assuming Clay was playing. We knew Luka was out and Najee Marshall. I think that's all we technically knew. We didn't know the others would be out. Chris said the Kings will win by double digits. Your final score, Sacramento 110, Dallas 100. Double digits.
I might have been going crazy at the end there when it was already over.
Right, and then like Dallas got a couple of cheap hoops. I'm like, this is going to be like a 16-point win. Uh-oh. But you got it. I would have given it to you if they won by 8. I mean, that would have been fine. So you got it. Good job there for yesterday's 3 in the Key. Well, let's do it. Let's do another 3 in the Key for tomorrow, since we won't be here tomorrow morning. All right, I'm running the risk. I've been bad on this lately, Chris. The first category, the big 3 for Philly versus the big 3 of Sacramento. That is Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid points versus De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis points. I'm going to go 72 for Philly's trio, 64 for the Kings trio.
I'm going to go 68 for the Kings and 19 for the 76ers. Someone's going to be out.
2 probably would have to be out.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is that the equivalent of $1 on Prices Right?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, the second category, we're asking first King and last King to score. I'm going to go with Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis. Murray being the first, Domantas being the last.
I am going to go Herter being the first.
He's starting?
I'm stupid.
Yeah. You said it. Isolate that.
Yes. Herter is going to be the last.
Okay.
I'm going to go with, I don't know why I'm thinking so hard about this.
Yeah.
I'll say Fox.
Okay, so it's like Fox, DeRozan, Sabonis, Murray, Monk. Okay. And then a random stat, something different, something odd, something weird that you're predicting. I'm running a risk here too because I don't know if he's playing, but I'm going to call my shot. Devin Carter will make his first shot attempt that he ever tries in an NBA game.
Ooh.
So I don't know if he's playing for sure or not tomorrow. I know it's been a conditioning thing for him, but if he does play, he's making his first field goal attempt.
What's up with this conditioning? Like, it was his shoulder, right?
It was his shoulder, but I guess he just was like he was really gassed, I think, in that. So they just want him in better shape.
I am going.
Otherwise, Malik Monk will call him fat.
I am going to say Sabonis will have a triple double.
Okay. And Sabonis versus Embiid. Have you seen Embiid in person?
No.
That is a massive man. He is gigantic. All these guys are big, obviously, but man, he's back. Philly was just an absolute mess this year, and they figured it out. They're playing much better. They won again last night. I want to say they're like 12-3 in their last 15, something like that, but they're creeping closer to 500. You may have heard me say, Malik Monk would call Devin Carter fat. I don't know that he will, but he did say this yesterday about his teammate, Trey Lyles.
Yeah, since he's been back, he lost a lot of pounds. He was fat at the beginning of the year. Put on lost some of them lbs, and he's moving around now. So yeah, that's it. That's just he just lost some pounds, and that's it.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
I know you missed Luka last night, didn't you, Chris?
It's tough to miss him.
I did see your. Oh no, you sent it to me. What was the tweet about his house getting broken into, and then your response? You were proud of that, weren't you?
I said, does anyone have eyes on the Hamburglar?
Yeah, that was good. That was well done. All right, final hour ahead of the Final show of the year of 2024. We will talk with Matt Barrows to begin the last hour from The Athletic about the 49ers and more reaction to the Kings win over Dallas in our final hour. That's all straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Matched De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The year-end sell-a-thon is on at Folsom Lake Ford. Get your favorite new Ford with zero down deals and low finance rates like 0% on many new models on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall and tell them DC sent you. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 16th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Find a huge selection of fishing boats, kayaks, and side-by-sides. New this time, nearly 50,000 square feet of RVs and campers. And check out the all-new, fully redesigned Toyota Land Cruiser. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 16th through 19th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, you got to tell me what's going on for the Wrap Up the Year sales event.
Wrap up our biggest savings of the year with up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram heavy duties. Plus, with over 400 new Rams available, including the hard-to-find heavy duties, your perfect truck is waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
That's a huge selection of Rams, and that's why Hoblet's the top Ram dealer in California, Chad.
Not only do we have great deals on new Ram trucks, the Hoblet family dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 220 vehicles available and over 45 under 20,000.
Start selecting save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 2500 tradesmen's after 10,500 factory rebates and 6,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 Hoblet inventory coupons while supplies last, 2,000 trade-in assistance on qualifying trades, 500 upfit, 2,000 California commercial business bonus cash, business ownership, and 500 upfit required. 5% net savings. Sample VIN 357-313. See dealer for details.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Caller
or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Takes the snap, takes the knee, that's it. Two teams will meet out in the middle of the field to say job well done, job better done on your NFC North leading Detroit Lions as they win this one by a score of 40-34 over San Francisco.
That's how it played out yesterday in San Francisco, Monday Night Football. The 49ers and Lions went back and forth. And San Francisco did a pretty good job of moving the ball. Really, the passing game was the most effective part of their offense. And the passing game was the most effective part, but an injury late. And let's see what we can find out more about that and more about the 49ers in general with just one game left to go. Joining us now from The Athletic, your friend and ours, is Matt Barrows joining us. Matt, Happy New Year. Good morning.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Last night, I would love your overall perspective on it because I did not think the Niners would beat the Lions, but they had their opportunities and a couple of interceptions and some untimely plays there. But other than that, I think the compete level, the desire to win, all that was on display. What was your overall thought of kind of where it went wrong and why they weren't able to win?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm with you. That was a question mark to me because there were all sorts of injuries heading into that game. I mean, it was a lot of areas an unrecognizable team. And, I've watched some really bad games this weekend from teams that were eliminated from the playoffs, just obviously weren't in it. There were a couple of exceptions. The Commanders-Falcons game was good. The Packers Vikings game was good. All those teams are still in the playoff hunt. Every other game was terrible. And I thought, oh, gee, that's what the 49ers Lions is going to be. It's just going to be, one half-hearted effort from one team. But it wasn't. And you saw that in right at the beginning where Juwan Jennings blocked the Lions defensive back, not even out of the back of the end zone, almost out of the back of the stadium into the first row. So that was good to see. I mean, that's what the team leaders were preaching all week. And it was evident that it was receiving their ears. A good, to put it very basically, it was a very strong game for the offense and not a great game for the defense and the special teams. And Jake Moody had two misses, prominent. Just 4 days after Shanahan really gave him a solid backing, basically said, we think that this guy is going to be our kicker for the future. We're going to stick with him. Moody did not reward him with good kicking. And that includes on the kickoffs, too. A lot of those were short as well. So still think that's something that the 49ers are going to have to reassess. I just know that they don't want to have to do that. That's Kyle Shanahan's MO is like, oh, gee, I don't want to have to think about special teams. I drafted this guy early. I wish I could just kind of let it go off on its own. But a lot of games lost because of the special teams this year. And you wonder if that unit were solid, how many of those games could have turned into W's and whether that meant the 49ers were still kind of in the thick of things right now.
Yeah, even at the end of, speaking of Moody, as we're talking with Matt Barrows from The Athletic, joining us courtesy of Stockton Honda. Matt, he missed the extra point. That was critical, but or a couple of them, or he missed the last one, I should say. But I also know that onside kick, I mean, they had no chance. He just kicked that like the ball was on fire. I mean, that had no chance to get the hop. It just went right out of bounds. And these are little things that I know you've said in the past that, and you're right, that Kyle Shanahan just kind of just wants the special teams just to do their job and doesn't seem to spend a lot of time on it. But it really does hurt them. And I got to wonder about Moody's future, even after that vote of confidence.
I think at the very least, you have to bring in a veteran to compete with him. It sends the wrong signal to the team, I think, if you don't. Because he hasn't been good this year. He's missed 9 kicks. And really is struggling right now. So, we saw, I guess it was for the Commanders, Zane Gonzalez was here briefly. he's doing fine. A lot of veterans who have been through here, kind of filling in for Robbie Gold in recent years, filling in for Moody this year. I don't see the harm in A, having competition, and B, making that a focus of training camp so that special teams is more of a focus. Shanahan's there watching the special teams, kind of sending the signal that, okay, this is going to be a bigger priority for us next year, and see how Moody does. I mean, if he comes out and wins that can only help his confidence. I got to think everything you just described is describing a guy who's struggling right now, who's struggling with his confidence. That's gotta change if you're going to rely on him next season.
How's Brock Purdy? I know he left the game late. Well, actually, I thought he was having a pretty good game. The 2 interceptions were important, but I mean, his rushing touchdown, his 3 touchdowns he threw, had a big yardage total day. Kind of played with a lot of spirit and a lot of fire. But how's he feeling after that loss?
He was a little bit concerned, I'd say, is the word. The initial test at Levi Stadium showed that the UCL, the ligament that was torn in Philadelphia almost 2 years ago, was okay, and that the suspicion was that he just hit it so awkwardly that the arm went numb. Brock Purdy described it as heavy. But when it is a surgically repaired part of your body, like I said, there was a concern level in Purdy, and he was going to get an MRI today. The unfortunate part is that Shanahan is speaking at 11 a.m. with reporters, and I'm not sure whether the MRI results will be in by then. So I don't know how that information is going to come out later today, but they should have a good read on it. Like I said, the initial take was that, okay, the elbow is going to be fine long term. Whether that includes the Cardinals' finale on Sunday, I'm not sure, but more details to come.
Yeah, they do get the Cardinals to close things out. I guess I was going to follow there, but you're not sure. I mean, what would your gut feeling? You think we see Purdy, or I guess we have to wait and see about that MRI?
Yeah, my gut is that, I think we see Purdy there. He wants to play his hometown. Interesting. He and Ricky Pearsall started to have a real connection. And they've worked at that. Pearsall missed basically all of August and then the first month and a half of the season after the gunshot wound. And it was clear that these are two guys that hadn't played a lot together. And they made it a point to stay after practice. Their lockers are right next to each other. So there was a lot of kind of catching up that they did during the season. And you saw the fruits of that on Sunday. Both of those guys are from the Phoenix area. They've gotten to know each other and like each other. I think both of them would love to have sort of a similar connection in their hometown.
Matt, what kind of impact has the win-loss record and the way Brock has played this year, part of that, impacted his potential payday and the Niners' decision on him in this offseason?
Yeah, I don't think – I think at the end of the day, really the take from the team is no different than it was last year. No, they're not winning as much. Yes, his numbers have diminished a little bit from last year, but I think there's an understanding of what he was going through, the challenges that he was facing. And Pearsall is one of them. He's one of their top 3 receivers now, and there was no off season between the two of them, really. Certainly no training camp. So that's just one of I could tick off 5 things that are different, that are worse this year than last year. Brandon Ayuk being a major part of that. Christian McCaffrey's absence being a major part of that. Deebo Samuel going through a dip, certainly at midseason when he was in the hospital with pneumonia, which wasn't the same guy for a few weeks. And so Brock Purdy had to deal with all of that. And there are people out there that think that this year, when you consider those obstacles, was his most impressive year because he wasn't awful. It wasn't as good, but we've seen some awful performances. I was talking about the bad games I was watching. CJ Stroud in Houston put up a real stinker. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching that, what if Purdy put up that kind of game now? I mean, nobody in Houston is calling for the Texans to bail on Stroud. It's just the scrutiny that Purdy has to go through, I think, is higher because this big payday is coming. But like I said, I think the people inside the building understand and appreciate what he was going through this season.
Obviously, there'll be a little bit of a different team no matter what. There'll be some, draft picks, some changes, but a lot of time when people think about significant changes, you go to coach, quarterback, GM, those kind. I wouldn't expect anything that drastic. How about you for the 49ers offseason?
Well, not head coach and GM, but I think defensive coordinator is on the table. I think special teams coordinator is on the table. We just discussed kicker. I think that what is it? Five of the last 6 games, they've allowed a 100-yard rusher. That is not this team's MO. I mean, they've taken pride in their run defense and holding teams under 100 yards. Part of that is due to the offense, and it's a team game and things like that. But just not the performance on defense that you want to see. A couple of wide open targets in the end zone for the Lions yesterday. You saw John Lynch's reaction on a busted coverage. It's week 17. You can't have those anymore. And it was a bad game, I thought, for Nick Sorensen, who was gaining some momentum. I mean, he got a nice backing from Nick Bosa. Some good outings recently. Yesterday's was not, and it wasn't just the Lions, incredible run game and their offense and their attacking styles. Some of them were self-inflicted wounds by the 49ers. So that's got to be something that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan examine at the end of the season.
And if they do look at defensive coordinator, I've seen plenty of Niner fans with the suggestion of Robert Saleh. Is that a marriage you could see reuniting at all?
Yeah, it's not at the top of my list, and I'm not sure it's at the top of Robert Saleh's list. I'm not saying that there's any bad blood, but he's been here before, and I guess it was the 2019 season. That's when the 49ers brought in Chris Kasarik and sort of switched up that defense and forced him to switch it. That wasn't Robert Saleh's initiative. That was sort of foisted on him, and it worked. But I think that if he had his druthers, he would have more autonomy. Get to have a bigger voice wherever he goes. The guy I would say is the leader in the clubhouse is Jeff Ulbrich, who the 49ers tried to get this past offseason, couldn't pry him from the Jets because he was under contract. He's likely going to be available. He's from this area. He played for the 49ers. He's friends with Kyle Shanahan from their days in Atlanta. So a lot of that makes sense. And you kind of might bring a bit of a how do you describe it? A cult of personality that that Sorensen doesn't have. That we've seen from Saleh, we've seen it from D'Amico Ryans. He sort of get the hype machine going, and that sort of helps the defense. So I think that is certainly something the 49ers will at least look into. To me, it's either Ulbrich or stick with Sorensen.
All right, one last one in our final minute here, Matt. Draft needs. I mean, they're going to have a draft class coming up. There's plenty of areas they can attack. Where do you think they go most importantly in their draft?
Line. And the question is offensive line or defensive line. And I think offensive line is probably the bigger need. I don't know whether this draft, around the 11th pick lends itself to that position. It's supposed to be a weak draft for offensive tackles, for example. It might be a good draft for guards, but I don't think that they're going to take a guard quite that early. So if they can't find the right fit there, I think that defensive line, I just gave you the stat about 100-yard rushers.
Right.
They could use another big body in the middle. I think watching the Rose Bowl will offer some candidates there. They could use another edge rusher, somebody kind of rotate with Bosa and Leonard Floyd. So, that would be my guess, one of those two general positions. And they should. I mean, right now they've got the 11th pick. This is the team that doesn't like to take a lot of offensive tackles, but they would if they had the right guy there. Pick 11, and it might go up to pick 10. At least gets you in the vicinity of really kind of targeting maybe the best offensive tackle in the draft. They might have to trade up for that tackle, but it gives you some license that you don't have at other spots in the draft.
All right, Matt. Well, we always appreciate checking in with you. We encourage everybody to check out all your work at The Athletic, and again, brought to you by Stockton Honda. Matt, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again one final time next week.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you then.
All right, Happy New Year to Matt Barrows there. We take the break. We come back. More to get to, back into the Kings as well. A much-needed win over Dallas. More reaction to that. That is straight ahead.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The good news, you finally lost the excess weight and found the body you knew was hiding underneath it all along. The better news, InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look and, dare we say it, enjoy the process. InShape has everything you need to build muscle and help keep the weight off. From fitness classes and personal trainers to swimming pools and saunas. Plus, plenty of full-length mirrors to admire your new self along the way. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Great defense. Herder knocks it away, saves it from going out of bounds to De'Aaron Fox. Accelerates up the floor, puts on the brakes, hits a trailing Herder. Up fake for three, sidesteps the defender, buries the triple. Look at the emotion from Kevin Herder after he bombed home that triple after he made a terrific defensive play.
Kevin Herder helping the Kings out yesterday. Really, a lot of the work was done by Fox, DeRozan, Sabonis, Monk, Lyles, but a collective win for the Sacramento Kings last night, 110-100. Much needed. Now 14-19. They finish up the 2024 portion of the schedule, ringing in the new year tonight and opening up January 1st tomorrow against Philadelphia. Again, our thanks to Matt Barrows, who joined us in our last segment. We joined by Bruce Feldman in the 8 o'clock hour from The Athletic, both guys from The Athletic. And if any interviews you want to go back and hear or any other portions of the show, certainly go to Sacktown Sports, our podcast page, check out our show, Styles, Alan Styles, the Drive Guys, really everything we do here at Sacktown Sports. You can get it anytime, anywhere, any way you want it. So we appreciate all of you. And again, we want to wish everybody happy New Year. I was thinking about that kind of being the end of the year, 2024, some 2024 highlights. I was thinking of a couple things Kings related. We'll play some of these clips for you. Things that stood out in 2024. I was thinking Keegan Murray's big 47-point game, but that was actually in 2023.
Yeah, that was in December.
Yeah. Do you have a moment or two from 2024, Chris, that stands out to you the most from, I don't know, sports or Kings or anything in general?
Manchester City winning the league again. First English Premier League team to ever win 4 in a row.
Okay.
Also, the opening ceremony of the Olympics were so crazy.
Okay, wait a minute. Now I'm trying to remember that because I remember I didn't see it live. There was something about it that was controversial. I remember there was controversy. What was going on with the river? Wasn't there like raw sewage? I love it. There was problems with like the triathlon.
Oh yeah, and like one of the racers I think got really sick from it.
Yeah,
but I remember the opening ceremonies. They had that metal band out in front, and they had like the headless Marie Antoinette, and it was just going crazy.
Right. Yeah,
and everyone is losing their mind. This is disgusting.
Yeah. What? People losing their mind about something? Go figure. I thought the Olympics were great this year. I was really into the Olympics.
Oh, do you know what? I think we have a shared 2024 memory.
Okay.
Our love of women's 7-on-7 rugby.
Yes. And was it the 7?
I can't remember what her name was though.
Mayer. Yeah. Alana Mayer.
Yes.
Just a truck. I mean, boosh, just bashing people.
Like Cam Scattaboo, like runs.
Yes. And I don't remember, Chris, if it was 7-on-7s or the regular Team USA rugby team, but they had a miracle fit. Like they had to go the length of the field.
Yeah.
In like the closing seconds, and that's literally what happened.
I think it was a 7-on-7.
It might have been to win. It didn't win the medal, but it got him to like the medal round or something. That was great. I thought the Olympics just overall were terrific. The men's and women's basketball was incredible. I'm always a huge fan of track. We had some great moments in swimming. Yeah, I mean, I just always appreciate when you've got the best of the best. Gosh, what's her name in track? Sydney McLaughlin or Verone or something. I can't remember. It's a hyphenated or married name. But they were showing her, she just ran the 400 hurdles, and she won by so much. I think they said she would have finished like 3rd or 4th in the 400 without the hurdles. But she ran with hurdles. You just go, my gosh, she's just incredible. Simone Biles, lots of good stuff. Thinking back also in 2024, we had an amazing Super Bowl. I know it's painful for the 49ers, but I mean, we had overtime. It was an incredible Super Bowl. Here's one, though, Kings moment I have for you, Chris. Let's take you back to mid-April, play-in at home, facing the Warriors, and things are pretty good for the Kings that day.
He's working hard to free up. Now he retreats to the logo and kind of rebalances the floor. They swing it to Keegan, going for another one. He hits it from the line drive on the right wing. That's the 8th three-pointer that Keegan Murray has made in 13 attempts. He has 32 points. And for Keegan Murray, what a night. It's the 4th time in his second season that he has scored 30 or more. And it is the 9th time that he's made 5 or more three-pointers in a game. So now it's pure celebration mode at Golden One Center. 116-90. Even a half smile on the face of Keegan Murray as he is rewarded with high fives from the bench.
They were up 26 on the Warriors. They end up winning that
Go
one.
home, smell you later.
They end up winning 118-94.
And from my recollection, the Kings didn't decide to play the next game. They were satisfied with getting rid of the Warriors.
We just won't go on to the postseason. That's fine. We'll live with that.
Are you seeing this rain?
Yes. We were watching. What is this? The
you don't know the ReliaQuest Bowl?
The ever trusted, well chronicled, historical ReliaQuest Bowl. Actually, has 2, benchmark college teams, Alabama and Michigan. And to describe this as rain would be unfair. I mean, it's a monsoon they've got going on right now. And
they were showing a couple of fans in the crowd with like no ponchos or anything like that. And that's when it was a little bit lighter. I'm guessing they're swimming away now.
Is that's
but you know what? Like they're having fun out there.
They are. That is awful. I mean, it is just absolutely dumping on that game. It's early first quarter. Michigan leads 3-0. I went to the now non-existing Freedom Bowl in Anaheim a couple years in a row. We used to go to that. We had, I think I went 3 or 4 times in a row from maybe middle school to high school to the Freedom Bowl, and I want to say
you got like a lot of bullying during that time, right?
Bullying.
Yeah, you were bullied a lot during that time.
Why are you saying that?
Because they hated you for your freedom.
Are you that proud of that one? You are. Because you took me on a walk, and I'm like, I don't know where we're going. But I went to, I think it was USC Fresno State, and it just poured. And yeah, I did not come with a poncho, and we were just getting dumped on. You're like, what am I doing at this game? I think the year before, I remember seeing Florida. Might have been Florida and Washington, and they kept talking about this running back from Florida, Emmitt Smith. I'm like, who is this guy? What was the play I missed? What happened there?
Someone got knocked out of bounds, and it was like a slip and slide. He just
see, that part
for
would be fun.
10 yards.
That part would be fun. I know in college you're down automatically, but like if this was an NFL game, you could just leave your feet around the 7 and just slide into the end zone. To the point where now the screen looks better, but like the cameras were all foggy because there's just so much moisture and rain going on in that game. Yeah, so that's the only time I can remember being at a game that was, quite like that, where it was just a brutal downpour.
The one I remember with the downpour was the only San Francisco Demons game I went to.
Oh, the Demons. I was at that game, calling that game. Let me give you one more highlight, one more moment of 2024, Sacramento Kings related, came in this portion of the calendar season back in mid-November, and it was a historical night for De'Aaron Fox.
Keegan Murray near sideline puts the ball in play to Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis dribble handoff to Fox. Drives it to the left elbow, retreats to three-point range. Anthony Edwards stalking him. De'Aaron's down to 4. Fires for 3. He's got a 60-point ball game. It's the most points any player has scored this season in the NBA. It's 126-126 as Fox delivers. 1:06 to go.
Just smashed his career high. It was 44, went to 60, and truly one of those memorable games. But much like the season, unfortunately, the Kings lost that one. But they won last night, 110-100. Got a couple of segments to go still when we come back. What to watch today. Also, we'll recap our pick 6 for the 49ers and Lions. It's still to come, crosstalk and celebrity birthdays to wrap up 2024 before we get you to Alan Stiles. That's all straight ahead here on Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. It's the final day of 2024. Chilly start out there for the morning. Plan to see some areas of patchy frost around the valley. But into the afternoon, mostly sunny skies with light winds today. Highs will peak in the mid to upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's time to find your dream car at the Roseville Auto Mall. 17 award-winning dealers and the largest selection in Northern California. Now's the perfect time to save big during our end-of-year clearance sale at the Roseville Auto Mall. Driven to be the best.
Hey, you've definitely had a busy month. Finding gifts, sending cards, hosting family. Well, now it's time to treat yourself at Macy's After Christmas Sale. Come and find great deals on something just for you. Like 25% off New Year's party looks from DKNY, Adriana Papel, and more. So enjoy the week and get yourself the gifts you really wanted before these limited time deals are over. At Macy's After Christmas Sale. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings plus special financing. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado. Now at Maida Chevy.
$8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing lease in some of their offices.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Have you ever been to a bowl game, Chris?
I don't know.
Been to the Freedom Bowl and the Rose Bowl. Not the Rose Bowl Stadium. I mean, I've been to the Rose Bowl Stadium, but Rose Bowl games.
I've helped out on a Rose Bowl float.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple times.
Multiple times?
Mm-hmm.
What's that story?
So remember when I said we would go to Disneyland?
Yeah.
So it's through our church, and I don't even know how this got set up. It was us and like a couple and like another church or whatever. We went there, and like the idea is we would help with like one of the floats there, like getting the flowers ready or something like that.
Okay.
And then the next day we would go to Disneyland for New Year's Eve.
And you did this multiple times?
Yeah.
Huh.
You just like go to some warehouse and you they say do this.
Yeah. And so then you just do it. Yeah. I've been to the Rose Parade a couple times. That's do you watch the Rose Parade at all?
No. I think it's one of those things that's like it might be on as I'm
background.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of bowl games tomorrow. I'll be into that. Kings play tomorrow. As far as stuff to watch today, more bowl games, including our first of our college football quarterfinals, as you've got Penn State and Boise State playing tonight. So you're going to have to check out that one. NBA action. Besides the bowl games, wait, I know I missed some others because we're obviously talking about Michigan and Alabama playing right now in the ReliaQuest Bowl, everybody's favorite bowl. We have the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Louisville versus Washington. By the way,
not a real bowl.
We talked about last year the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Did you see the Pop-Tarts this year?
Incredible.
Just like was that the tribute to Ray Lewis or whatever, ripping the cover open?
What do you mean?
And just like his squirrel dance or whatever that he does. I don't know. Either way, it was just great.
Oh, the multiple ones doing that?
Uh-huh.
And then the one that was eaten last year coming back from the dead.
Oh, did that happen?
You didn't see that?
I didn't see that part.
He was resurrected and standing on top of the scoreboard.
Of course he was.
Like whoever came up
Pop-Tarts
with
might
that.
be the best bowl now.
Yes, it is. 100% without question.
And do we even know who played in the game?
No clue. I don't know who won.
It was West Virginia and Utah State. No, nobody knows. Actually, I'm going to look it up. Who was in the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Because more of the stuff about the Pop-Tarts Bowl was the stuff that came out on social media. Searching, looking for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It was Iowa State and Miami. 42-41. It was a great game. It's about the Pop-Tarts. Okay, so we got the ReliaQuest Bowl right now. Michigan leads 13-0 over Alabama. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl has Louisville and Washington.
Oh, we're going to dump cereal on the winning coach. Please watch us.
How about the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl? What, do you blend oranges and cheese?
That was a story that came out last year. Did you see the rooms for the Cheez-It Bowl?
Wait, I remember hearing the story.
They were like
all Cheez-Its, right?
Yeah, like there's just
the
tons-
walls were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm like, wait, what? That's South Carolina, Illinois.
What is a product that you would do for the bowl that you're like, hey, we want the Pop-Tart success?
What do you mean? Something similar to that?
Yeah.
Some sort of probably ice cream, Ben and Jerry's or something, or I like ice cream. Because they have the mayo bowl, and that's where people like eating that mayonnaise and stuff. You're like,
I think that was the first one of like, oh, we're gonna have some fun now.
Yeah.
Like the Pop-Tarts ran because the mayo bowl walked. I don't know.
We've got the Texas Bowl a little bit later, and then of course, as I said, Penn State, Boise State college football quarterfinal. That's in the VRBO Fiesta Bowl.
What if they bring the Noid back from Domino's and you kill the Noid if you're the winning team?
Oh, my goodness. Some other games from the NBA today. Clippers at Spurs, Timberwolves at Thunder, Grizzlies at Suns, and Cavaliers at the Lakers. So those are some things to watch for today. We still haven't done a recap. We got to do one more recap here. What do we have left? Oh, a recap of our pick six from yesterday, Chris. We did our 3 in the key, but let's recap that. From the NFL, from yesterday's Monday Night Football game. Let's see our predictions if they were any better there, though you did okay on our 3 in the key. We asked for the first 49er to score. I said Garendo. You said Kittle. The correct answer was Pearsall. We went for passing yards for Brock Purdy. We did not give him enough love. I said 242. You said 237. Brock threw for 377 yesterday. Garendo rushing yards. I had 66. You had 52. We had 34. Total turnovers. I said 3. You said 2. Chris, you were correct. There were 2. Both by Brock Purdy interceptions. Field goals made. I predicted 3. You said 4. There were 2. And then the random stat, the random prediction. I said Jared Goff would have an 80-yard touchdown pass or longer. He had a 42 was his longest.
I really wanted to go with Juszczyk touchdown yesterday.
I know, which was funny. You had a defensive touchdown, which didn't happen, but Kyle Juszczyk had a touchdown, and Dave randomly out of nowhere. Well, I think I had already responded because you hadn't yet. He was like, let's go. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of in a weird time of the day. What does this mean? Why is he saying this? Was there something news to the Kings? What's going on? And I sent him the question mark. He's like, Juszczyk touchdown. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh. So
I don't know if you know this, but Juszczyk's wife made the jacket for Taylor Swift.
Is that right?
Yeah. Also, another fun trivia fact.
Yeah.
LeBron James' first game was in Sacramento.
Also, another fun fact, his first game, he was guarded by Doug Christie.
Really?
Doug Christie's first game as a head coach officially in the NBA, he coached against LeBron James' team.
What? Did anyone bring that up to LeBron?
You see that LeBron? You know what? I think I have this cut. I don't even have to say it. Let me let LeBron say it. Let me find it. I had it. Here we go. Here's LeBron James about how much more he thinks he could play. How much more time?
What will it be that tells you it's enough?
It won't be because I can't play this game at a high level. It won't be because of that. Because, to be honest, if I really wanted to, I'd probably play this game at a high level for about another weird, I might say, about another 5 to 7 years if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that.
Is there any chance you will walk away and miss it?
Of course. Hell yeah. What? Yeah, I mean,
Brady did it. Jordan did it.
Oh, and come back? Oh, no. But I would miss the hell out of it for sure. But no, I won't walk away ready to come back. No.
Do you think he could play another 5 to 7 years? That seems a bit much.
I am against betting against him.
I guess that's true. He is still playing it.
If you talked about like 10 years ago, like, oh, he'll still be like
at 40,
a top player at 40. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think the difference, though, this is so much about athletic ability, and I know he spends so much money and does a lot to take care of his body. But like Brady, it's a little different. Like when he kept playing, because as long as your arm can hold up, he didn't really have to move a ton. He kept himself in good shape too. But man,
I think at this age too, it's mostly about recovery. Like,
right?
How can you make sure that you're recovering properly?
Yeah, and maybe he takes more time off. But I don't know. We'll see how long he ultimately decides to play. All right, break time for us. When we come back, we will have our final segment of 2024 here. We will have a little crosstalk. It will be with Brendan Nunez. We'll kind of explain what's going on with him and Alan Stiles and celebrity birthdays to wrap up this show for the year. Back with that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with zero down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblit of Hoblit Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for the wrap-up the year sales events?
Well, you have a choice to make. Save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xEs, or save thousands with 0% financing for 72 months. It's savings your way at Hoblit, not to mention all the savings at the pump with 56 MPGE.
Ooh, those are really nice Jeeps. You can't beat that mileage.
The Hoblit family dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblit Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 220 vehicles available and over 45 under 20,000.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HoblitDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings on select new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE models up to $12,250 factory and federal rebates and $4,750 dealer discounts. Rebates include $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders, $3,750 federal EV tax credit. Consult a tax professional for details. 0% for 72 months available in place of $7,500 consumer cash. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. $13.89 per thousand borrowed. 5 of the set savings. Sample VIN 681-180. See dealer for details.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
All right, here we are, final segment for this show for 2024, but right after us, it will be Brendan Nunes / Alan Stiles. Brendan, can you explain what's going on?
Yeah, Alan Stiles just can't get enough of talking about the Sacramento Kings right now. You know, initially was supposed to take a day to the family, and I think he told his family, they're like, hey, I got to work, man.
And they're like, get out of here.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. No, I think change of plans.
Okay.
And so Alan's going to come in and join me about 11:30. I think we'll probably cross-talk for maybe half an hour or so. I'll head to practice a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Kings practice today, and then Alan will run the second half of the show.
Nice. Okay. How are you ringing in the new year tonight?
That's a good question.
No plans
you
right
know,
now?
to be honest, Jason, I previously had at our Christmas party, you know, they gave out some gifts and I got some axe throwing like vouchers, I guess.
Oh, you did?
And I was going to try this. I've never tried it. New Year snuck up on me though. And I literally didn't realize until late last night, like, oh, it's about to be New Year's tomorrow. Right. And busy King schedule. I don't know what my plans are, but probably a couple days out I'll do it.
I think you're a night person, right?
Yeah, I would
you
say
would
so.
generally like making it to midnight won't be a
Yeah. The way you say that makes it sound like you're probably not making it to
No,
midnight,
I'm 100% will.
Okay.
I always like. I find it weird that some people will like. No, if you normally don't stay up and it's like I want to make it to New Year's, New York New Year's at 9 o'clock and then shut it down. Okay, but I feel like if you go to like 10:30 or 11, like why wouldn't you just? It's one
Might
more
as well
hour.
just wait at that point. Yeah.
And so no, I mean I'm glad I don't have the show tomorrow morning, but even if I did, I would have done it.
Yeah, fair enough. You're a trooper, though.
I've always liked that, though. I've always liked New Year. And, this will be a good reference point. So Chris did this as a kid. I did this as a kid. Did you ever do pots and pans to bring in the New Year, like banging pots and pans to go outside? I don't even know when that started, why that's
these days.
Yeah. So you never even really heard of that?
No.
Yeah.
It sounds a little crazy to me.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm not vouching for it, but I remember being a kid, like, you know, you're always just calm down, be relaxed. And it's like, this is the time to scream, make noise, go outside and bang pots and pans. And that's what we did.
Oh.
Happy New Year!
And it wasn't just us. It was like the entire neighborhood's
neighborhoods
kids.
were doing it. Like other kids are out there. It's like no adults, all kids out there under 8 and just banging pots and pans. Because.
Imagine you're a foreigner, like you somehow have no clue what's going on. You're like, what's happening out here?
My mom for a long time had a lid where she was watching my little cousin for New Year's and let her have the pots and pans. And there's all these little dead
just too aggressive New Year's. Oh, my goodness. Well, I hope everybody has a good New Year. I hope you do, too. I hope we get some better results going forward for the Kings. Last night, I was saying earlier in the show, had it gone the same way it was going, might have been that reference point of rock bottom. But they recovered and got that much-needed win.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. A win is a win when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing. I think that's also the point that now interim head coach Doug Christie was making post-game, but it was a very ugly one.
It was.
Like, Dallas didn't have, 5 of their rotation guys at least. That's including Luka, Kyrie, Najee Marshall, Derek Lively, a lot of their starting unit. And Spencer Dinwiddie and PJ Washington look like stars for the first half. Now, the Kings cleaned it up. Like I said, a win is a win, and that's what matters. They hold them to 17 points in that third quarter. I think that's closer to what you should have probably done all game was more of that second half, but they came around eventually. It did feel like a typical Kings game, though, for most of this season.
Yeah, it was a grind. It's not easy for them to win right now.
Yeah.
PJ Washington was 7 of 8. He shot him in the game, and then he went 1 for 12. He was a mess after that.
Jeez. I don't know that I had realized it was 1 for 12 after the fact. They needed it. I think Sacramento also started switching things up. I saw them go to zone a little bit. Sometimes they were doubling those guys, which I thought was a smart move because, like we mentioned, everybody that Dallas had out, they don't really have other playmakers after those two guys, really. And you probably also don't want to bet on PJ Washington to make 80% of his shots throughout the whole game. So you knew he was going to slow down to an extent. But I thought the Kings did change things up, and their physicality in the second half defensively, especially, was definitely raised up there. Lower down the turnovers, don't make it as easy for him to get looks in transition and things like that.
I know you were in the media room after. Get the laugh at Malik calling Trey fat.
Of course, it's very Malik. Yes. It's very Malik, you know. And right after,
he's a big boy.
Right after, though, Malik talked about like the importance and how much he tries to just lighten the mood every once in a while. And I think especially with everything going on recently, like they need that, you know, even as cliche as it is, even the media room, I think sometimes could use it a little bit every once in a while while we're in there. So I can only imagine the other side of the doors in there. So
yeah,
I think it's a helpful thing. Trey laughed about it after the game as well.
I did say that post-game, like it's about these players, maybe the fans too, and the organization, but like everybody I felt like we needed it.
Yeah.
You know, just as people covering this team. And
yeah, 7 in a row would have not been great.
And the team and the circumstances, you made a coaching change, you're desperate, they're depleted. That'd have been it would have been an awful loss.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of storylines obviously going around. Like, should they have fired Mike? Should they have not have? Right. What does this mean for De'Aaron Fox? Why Doug Christie over some of these other guys? And that would have continued to spiral. Not that it still can't.
Right. They didn't solve it in one night.
They temporarily slowed it, at very least.
And I'm sure that's a lot of stuff you'll be discussing before, and I'm sure Alan will too.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the plan. I want to go through, you know, I like to present both sides. I'm a debater. My girlfriend doesn't love it, but I think it's good for work. So going to present why I think Mike did deserve to get fired, even though that's not my 2 cents, and then why I think he didn't, where Doug can go from here, what it might mean from De'Aaron, and some things like that.
Okay, we'll make sure we check that out coming up here at 10. Let's wrap up this show, though, with a game here of guessing celebrity birthdays. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than crumble cookies. All right, let's start with...
I'm really good at this, just so you know.
Yeah?
Yeah, not true.
You are the heavy underdog in this competition.
Yeah, that's understandable. I might not even know half these people, but we're going to find out.
You know what? That might be a fun game to see if you know the person first. But I will say this. Happy birthday to Psy. You know who that is?
Psy? That's the full name?
Mm-hmm.
No.
What's your guess? Just give us a rough guess.
Like an artist.
An artist? Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, do you know who the Psy is?
No idea.
You guys, I think, will know the song, but Gangnam Style.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Okay. I should have been more confident over here.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I know.
You're a big fan?
No.
Okay.
That song's fine. It's catchy.
Everyone liked it at the time.
It's true. The one video is, he's the one that like comes out of the, like he's waiting to pop out of the stage. Yes. And then when he does, I mean, the reaction he gets is like, for anybody to live that is pretty incredible.
For sure. I just want to feel that once in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
So how old is Psy
today? 52.
That's a good guess. That's what I was going to say. I'll go younger. Let's go 46.
Good choice. Chris is closer, 47.
Ooh, okay.
For Psy.
Okay.
Gabby Douglas. You know who Gabby Douglas is?
Gymnast.
Hey, look at
I got
this.
that one.
Okay.
Look at the big brain on
Wow.
All right. Now, how old is she turning today?
You want to go first, Chris?
26.
Yeah, I was going to say a little older, maybe 28.
Brendan's closer, 29.
Ooh, okay.
29. Okay. Donald Trump Jr.
I know who that is, for what it's worth.
47.
Yeah, 41.
We have an exact answer, and it's Christopher Laud, 47 for Donald Trump Jr. Happy birthday to former King Francisco Garcia.
Oh.
36.
He is 39.
Chris is closer, 43 for Cisco.
Ooh, wow.
Happy birthday to former King, 2-time, I believe, and former Kings interim coach, Tyrone Corbin. He replaced Michael Malone, then George Karl replaced him.
Go ahead, Chris.
66.
58.
Oh, he's tied. He's 62.
Okay.
Happy birthday to Val Kilmer. You know Val Kilmer?
Oh.
No?
No.
What's your guess?
Like an actor. Sounds like they'd be in Top Gun, you know?
Are you serious?
Did I just guess that right? Okay, I know you. You are messing with me, guaranteed.
No,
There's no way that's right. There's no way that's right. I don't believe either one of you.
You are 100% right.
Actually.
That's really weird.
Actually.
Val Kilmer, yes.
Wow.
Was in Top Gun.
He just sounds like a pilot.
Maverick.
And MacGruber.
And MacGruber and Top Secret and We're Genius.
I still don't believe you guys. I feel like you're messing with me here.
Anyway, what's the guess? I'm kind of floored.
He is 63.
57.
65. You really didn't know that?
No, I'm still not believing you that I'm actually
I'm
correct
pulling this
here.
up just to wrap this up.
He sounds like a pilot, you know?
He was Iceman.
Captain Kilmer, man.
He was Iceman in Top Gun. Let me see. Val Kilmer.
When you see him, I'm sure you've seen a GIF of him.
Yeah, let me see. Val Kilmer.
I like
Top Gun.
subconsciously knew, I guess, you know?
All right, let's see. There he is, Iceman from Top Gun. Val
Sure.
Kilmer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did not see the movie?
Maybe a while ago.
Did you see Maverick?
It's been a second.
Hey,
yeah.
heads up, Brendan. Jason actually photoshopped that today just to get
Right.
The depth of this.
You knew that
bit.
I was going here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good work. Good
Sure,
work.
sure.
Happy New Year to everybody. Our thanks to Bruce Feldman for joining us, for Matt Barrows, for Chris Verlotta and Jason Ross. Brendan Nunez coming your way next. Again, Happy New Year. Be safe. Have some fun tonight. And we'll talk to you in 2025 here on Sacktown Sports. So, yeah.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox